Good morning, Short Track Racing. Hello, everybody. I am Bob Dillner in the house here at Studio 51. Dylan Smith with me, my old mama himself with me this morning, and we're missing somebody. You might need to press the button.
Press the button. It's early morning. I got
Dollar
my
and a kitty, baby.
Here we go. It is a great day to be alive, and I'm happy to be here, Bob. And we are missing, what's his name? Wesley.
Wesley. Did he sleep in? I didn't call him because I wanted to wake his butt up by actually having everybody, anyone who knows Wesley Outland right now, text him, call him, ring him, make him nervous, make him like, oh my gosh, I overslept because Wesley Outland is not in the house this morning, and he was supposed to be here at the morning Bullring.
Yeah, so Wesley was actually, you had him set up as my roommate all weekend.
I did.
Yeah. So,
Does he talk as much in the room as he does on the air?
Well, so funny. You had me drive him there as well. So
Yes.
we rode together.
Yes, it was
fabulous.
fabulous.
It was
Fantabulous.
18-hour split with me and Wesley, as Wesley likes to call it, white chocolate and Black Mamba.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Wesley. What are we going to do with that dude?
He's fun. He's entertaining. You know, I love having him. We need him to. Oh no, we got to figure something out. I will say this: Wesley is dedicated. He's passionate and hardworking. Love that. But this morning, since he's not here, okay, it's just a ration of you know what. Oh yeah.
For old Wesley Outland.
Oh, coming
and
after
even
you.
when he comes in, if he makes it, you might have to, wipe the sleepers out of his eyes. Maybe grab a cup of coffee if he drinks coffee or Coke or Mountain Dew or Red Bull. If you're Mark Keeler, how you doing, Mark Keeler?
I'm here. I'm good. I'm good.
You're here. He's like, I'm here. I'm here.
I got the Red Bull.
I thought you quit.
So I'm
Hydrating.
supporting a racing sponsor with
Attaboy.
Body Armor. They support racing.
Who do they support?
They sponsor Ryan Blaney.
Sorry, I didn't even know.
I love Body Armor.
It's your boy.
That's my boy.
It's your
This
boy.
is my
You-
drink.
the
This is my
shirtless
boy's
boys.
drink. Yeah. Hey, cookies and cream, baby. Me, him, and Bubba Wallace. If you don't know why it's cookies and cream, just look at the picture.
Oh gosh, you guys, listen. I text you. I'm like, what are you always putting these pictures on social media with your shirts off? Come on, put some shirts on.
But when you look this good, Bob, you got to share it with the world.
I don't know about that, but you guys look like you have a bunch of fun, and now I know Ryan Blaney's sponsor, one of his sponsors there, and you're repping the product well. I think you're trying to become his PR guy, aren't you?
No, well, here's my thing: is I go on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and tell people like, if a company is sponsoring motorsports, I'm gonna buy their product because that's why they're here. So, and we need them to stay. So I'm supporting them. And if it's a Bojangles versus a Chick-fil-A, I'm going to Bojangles not only because it's better and it tastes delicious, but because
We're not going to get into that again.
because they sponsor the Southern 500.
That's good. I'm sure Chick-fil-A supports some sort of racing somewhere.
Well, they haven't
They're a
shown
good
me
Christian company, too. I like that.
yet. Yeah, but you can't get them on Sunday, and I can get Bojangles 7 days a week, 24/7.
Out of respect.
Out of respect.
Out of respect.
Out of respect for my gullet, I need you to be open.
That's right. So we got plenty to talk about this morning, and why don't we kick things off with the news? I think that's a good way to get started right here.
Yeah.
Let's get the news of what's been going on in the land of short track racing with the one, the only, Cody Geyer making his debut here on the Morning Bullring. Let's make him nervous. No pressure whatsoever on delivering the news now, Cody.
No pressure.
You're a radio guy, so you should get right into it.
So the third annual U.S. Short Track Nationals happened over the weekend at Bristol Motor
Really?
Speedway.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
It only went till about 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that?
It felt like 6, didn't it, Cody?
Only about 12:30.
Yeah, only about 12:30. Need to condense that. Remember, I was at a dirt show. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get into that later. You guys go there at like 9 o'clock in the morning and then wind up going to almost 1 o'clock in the morning, with the racing and so forth. By the way, I came in at 4, okay, and I left by like 10. Just saying.
I don't want to talk to you about that.
Well, Stephen Nasse won the super late model portion, but he had to work for it. He came down pit road with a loose wheel about 30 laps in and drove back through the field past Casey Roderick with 4 to go.
A classy, Nasse move, but that move by old, Casey Roderick, a little nasty as well. Good racing. Good racing. But I like the nasty came out just ever so subtly.
I mean, it was a great show. Like, when Classy Nasty, your boy Steven, came through the field, I was like, man, he's really getting up there. And then he kind of stalled out about third around Stephen Wallace caution came out. and then he got up on the wheel and got it done, man.
Oh, Classy Nasty, big win for his career.
Yeah, then Pro Late Models, Mike Skinner won. He had to go to the back after coming down pit road with a master cylinder issue, and he drove back through the field, took the lead on lap 40, and went on to win.
You ready? You ready? This is all I have to say. Gunslinger Mike Skinner getting it done. Shows the old man can still drive.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. So I was in victory lane, interviewing after the big win, and I was halfway through, and I kind of got starstruck. I was like, "Holy smokes, this is Mike Skinner right here!" Like, dude was a bad boy in his day. He's a bad boy, and still a bad boy now.
Hey, I asked him once, what would you do to win the Daytona 500? He said, I'd wreck my mama to win the Daytona 500. Well, you never won the Daytona 500, but that's another story.
And then Street Stocks, Chuck Barnes Jr. made it 3 in a row. He took the lead from Brett Hudson again after halfway, and it turned out to be a son-father 1-2 finish as Chuck Barnes Sr. finished second, and then Brett Hudson finished third.
I'll tell you what, that's all I'll say about Street Stocks and Compacts right now. They carried the show at Bristol. Bottom line, grassroots racing at its best. Street Stocks and Compacts, they were the best at Bristol, and we appreciate all the support that they showed.
Yeah, everyone wants to get to that late model level, whether it be pro late model, super late model, but at some point, if you drive, you started at Street Stocks or compact cars at some point, and those guys put on such a good show. It was awesome to watch. A lot of action, a lot of passing, a lot of wrecking. It was all good.
Were you a compact champion at Thunder Road Speedball?
We didn't. No, I wasn't.
No.
But
Tiger?
But I was So
did you win races?
I did.
Okay,
I did.
I give you something
God
here.
Almighty! I won. I lapped the field in 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 youth enduro races at Riverside Speedway, New Hampshire.
Okay.
I lapped the field.
Not T Road.
No, I never raced. I only raced late models at T Road.
Okay. Did you ever win in late models?
Won a couple heat races. Got third one.
Okay. You're like my dad. He won heat races, never won a feat.
I know. Listen, I don't want to talk about it. I need to go back to it. Redeem myself.
And then in the Vors Compact Touring Series, Tom Gosser set quit time and drove through the field and won the race.
That's pretty simple. That's like a Cody Geyer, I'm giving you the news and nothing more.
Poof. It's
Boom.
right there. It's right in your face. If
So-
you can't read it, it's your fault.
So I didn't see the compact race
Right.
because I was doing some other duties and so forth for
course,
that
of
day with MAV TV and Lucas Oil Racing TV. But how was that race?
That race was good. It kind of went a little long. Now, what was his name? Jeremy
Did they have
Mitchell.
the big one like the compacts always do?
It wasn't like a big one. It's like a couple medium
Several.
ones. Yeah, several like medium ones would turn into like 3 big ones. So Jeremy Mitchell actually kind of went alphabet soup here, and he won his
The C, the B?
He won his B.
Okay.
So he was in the B. He won
It's
the.
not quite alphabet. Dude, alphabet soup is at the Chili Bowl when they have double
But we-
and mains
That's like
and they
that's like the closest we got for asphalt racing.
he ate one letter.
Right. So he has a little bit of soup. At the end of the soup, you got 1 letter in there. That's what he had.
Ate one piece of pasta.
But he killed that piece of pasta because he led the whole thing, and then he drove up to about 10th in the race. So
Okay.
he put on a good show. But Tom,
I like you're going for the story angle. You're digging.
I'm digging. I want it, and you're just cutting me down at my knees, trying to pull my best Bob Dylan around.
Help
right
him
now.
out, Cody.
Well, there were 2 drivers that did come from the C main.
Oh.
Boom.
Boom.
Hey, I got one thing for you.
Go ahead, Cody.
And then this was also seen on the Speed 51 Network Fast Track Racing Series from Toccoa Speedway. And Carson Ferguson made it 2 in a row after his first career win last week.
It's Fergie time. I think Carson Ferguson is going to win more races this year than old Chris Ferguson, his cousin. That's my prediction right now here on the Morning Bullring. Do you agree with me, Cody?
Yeah, then also after getting your first win, they come easier.
Yes, absolutely. So 2 wins, point lead for the Fast Track National Touring Series for the Pro Late Models on dirt. You can see, of course, all the highlights, and they are on the Speed 51 Video Network now. Tommy, you want to bring them up?
I'm not plugged in right now.
Okay, he's not plugged in right now. We're going to get Tom plugged in. Take it away, Cody.
Give him the plug.
And then the Pass North at Oxford played in Speedway yesterday. Garrett Hall passed Ray Christian with 18 to go and went on to win the race.
You'll see those highlights on the Speed 51 Video Network later on this evening.
And then Northwest Super Late Model Series, Alan Crest won in a close finish over Trevor Christiani and Braden Havens.
I love the fact that you didn't even have to look at your notes that time. I busted on him because before the show I said, "Hey, who won the Northwest Super Late Model race?" And he was, "Hold on," he had to look at his computer.
I would have butchered those names. I'm so glad that you did that and I did because I would have killed it.
Yeah, not killed it in a good way.
No,
either.
it would have been bad. Like I had to talk about Martin Le Tulip. this
Tulip.
weekend, and
Yeah.
I had a hard time. I was scared.
You know, Adam Mackey and I, we figured he's a French Canadian, right?
Yeah.
So, we pronounced it La Tulipe,
La Tulipe.
at New Smyrna. And then he told us, no, it's La Tulip. Like, dude, you're from, the French-speaking portion of Canada.
He said, I'm closer to Quebec than he is.
Yeah.
Being from Vermont. I was like, oh, man, I'm really going
And then Wesley was calling him Guadalupe at first on the broadcast.
Guadalupe.
Yeah.
Guadalupe.
He came up with a couple interesting pronunciations for names. Don't ask him how to say Scott Tomasic either.
Neither Wesley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomasic, not Tomasic.
Or Tomziak.
Tomziak.
He surprised everybody in that Super Late Model race.
Did he?
Yeah, he qualified. So he was on the pole there for a minute until Nasty knocked him off. He was
like a storyline. Anyway, what are some
Back to
other
you.
storylines?
Ty Majeski made it 2 in a row in the Arca Menard series.
Yes, he did.
Passed Riley Herbst with less than 10 to go
Woohoo!
and went on to win.
Do you think Hannah Newhouse was happy about that? Anyway, no, we digress. Hey, she got heralded for it, so you might as well mention it.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Cody.
keep going, Cody. Keep going.
Then NASCAR K&N Pro Series East, Chase Gabry won his first career race at Memphis International Raceway.
Who's better, Chase or Colin?
Oh man, I think Chase. I don't know, man. They're very equal. They were both. I was teammates with Colin when we were at the diversity program. Colin's really good.
And crappy equipment.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's tough equipment. It's hard to, It's hard to go over there. But when they got it going, they're good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The drivers get an opportunity to show what they got. And it's Chase winning races. Ruben won last year at that same place.
Yeah, true.
So-
Absolutely.
And then where you were at over the weekend, Magnolia Motor Speedway Clash of the Mag for the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series.
Nope. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.
Lucas
Get
Oil
it
Late
right
Model
there,
Dirt
Harry.
Series.
Listen, we got more dirt cars up there
That's
than
right.
anything else.
Look
We
at
got to
this.
get that stuff right.
By the way, before you get to it, how do you like my old Freddie Smith Dirt Late Model right here?
That thing is retro for sure.
I love it. You got Rick Eckert by you.
What's
the
his
big old?
What's his nickname?
The Scrub.
Scrub.
The Scrub.
Scrub.
Rick Eckert.
Ain't no love for me.
You got Superman
Hanging out the
right here.
passenger Side.
He finished in third. Got hit by Josh Richards halfway through the event. Scott Bloomquist wasn't there, but we might be seeing Scott Bloomquist pretty soon. Look forward to that.
Hope so.
Yep, absolutely. He's been. You see that on social media?
No.
He had like this cage, this cockpit, and he's got a big steering wheel, right? And he's got a shock, with not a lot of rebound. Let's just put it that way. Really
Right.
stiff, okay?
Right.
And he's just working his muscles, turning it left, turning it right. So he's been working out at that, and I understand some things are in the works for Scott Bloomquist to come back, and that's all I can say about that right now. It's sworn to secrecy.
That's a cool way to. I've never thought about that. That's a
Yeah.
cool way to work out.
Yeah.
Because when we're in a gym and most drivers they 25-pound weight or whatever and they're just swinging around, but that's a good good way.
If you go to Scott Bloomquist's Twitter handle, you'll see the video, and he just literally has this system it's a shock, and he's turning this wheel left and turning it right, and you can see it's really hard because he's really straining, and Scott's not a wimp. He's pretty strong, even
Yeah.
though he's like 54 years old.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with him.
No, not at all. No, he'll whip his head and whip you with those long locks.
It's beautiful. It's majestic.
Majestic. Cody, you're majestic this morning, aren't you?
Always.
I think we just lost Mamba.
I got nothing, man.
Do you have anything else?
Well, Mike Marlar won. He led 98 to 100 laps over Tim McCready and Jonathan Davenport. Then in the World of Outlaws late models,
By
Brandon
the way,
Over-
he's the Winfield Warrior, since we're on nicknames. The Winfield Warrior, Mike Marlar.
the Winfield Warrior, Mike Marlar won
There you go.
over T-Mac.
That's right. T-Mac, former Chili Bowl winner.
Listen, he got the nickname. He got the next one without even.
I know. I like that. We just got to get him a little bit more enthused. He's kind of got that Midwest laid-back attitude right now.
But he has the voice for it.
He does.
Yeah,
he does.
I like it.
We're going to work on him here.
He'll be
He's
good.
with us at least here for a month in the studio.
Yeah, I heard it's Cody. Isn't it your birthday while you're here?
In 3 weeks,
3 weeks.
How old are you going to be?
21.
21. Oh boy.
You know whose birthday's coming
Mamba,
up?
you're not allowed to take him out.
You know whose birthday's coming up?
Who?
Your boy.
Who?
Your boy.
You?
Yes.
Okay.
A week
Tom thought
from
it was
today.
Wesley. Oh,
No.
there you go.
What kind of friends are you guys? God
good
almighty.
You know what? Tell you what. Since we're on that right now, how about a big happy birthday? Let's have him stand up behind Mark Keeler, 50 years old. Give him some booms now, Mark. Come on, this is your chance to hit him.
Half a
I know you want
century,
to
half
a
a
lot.
century.
Happy
That's-
birthday, Tom Ryan.
Thank you very much.
50 hits, right?
That is. Come on.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, Mamba, we're taking out Cody. I'm his chaperone, but I'm just there to make sure he doesn't get in too much trouble.
Oh,
You're
I
the
can't
chaperone?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Dude, I'm 50. I can't do much.
Yeah.
I'll be sleeping in the corner.
Yeah.
He's gonna drive us home like Dad.
Yeah. Hey, Dad. Oh, World of Outlaws at Nashville. I saw some pictures of that crowd. That was pretty impressive over the weekend.
It sold out on Saturday night when Shane Stewart took the big win. It was his first World of Outlaws win of the year. His second win with CJB Motorsports. He did win an All-Star Circuit of Champions race at Volusia back in February.
World of Outlaws late models in action already this past weekend as well.
Yeah, Friday
Trying
night.
to lead you there. Cody, come on. Field me, brother.
Friday night they're at Cochran Motor Speedway. Brandon Overton took his second feature win of the year.
Big sexy.
And then on Saturday at Lancaster Motor Speedway, Brandon Shepard took the big win.
Bishop.
Wait a minute. What
Did he just say Lancaster?
What?
He said
Oh, did he?
Lancaster?
Yeah.
Okay, listen, young Cody Geyer. It's like young Skywalker.
School's in session.
When you
Padawan.
come south, okay, just listen. Up north, it's Lancaster, like as in the track outside of Buffalo, New York. When you come south, it's Lancaster. You got to like just put together all your letters. Lancaster.
It's only 2 syllables.
And say it
down here.
faster, okay?
Now I have a question about
Yeah.
that. So like up north, it's
Lancaster.
Concord. Yeah, but it's Concord.
Well, I
And
No,
down here it's
yeah.
Concord.
you want me to tell you the story about that?
Oh, I hate this. Took me a long time to get this.
Yeah, hit me.
Yeah, so I go to Lowe's back in the day, and I'm asking for a specific mower when I moved down in 1997. And
I was 5.
anyway,
I wasn't born.
Yes, Cody.
Cody for the win.
Cody. Give him the dub.
Anyway,
Tom was.
Anyway, so I go to Lowe's, and I asked this gentleman, and I said, "Hey, do you have this mower?" And he says, "No, I don't." And his name on his tag was Rufus Hudsucker. Okay, so then I proceed to say, "Do you think they have it in the Concord store?" And he says, "Son, we wasn't conquered. This is Concord." I'm like, "Whoa, welcome to the South." Holy moly.
You better watch out.
Dang, that was pretty rough.
Well, they did lose.
Yes, they did. Yes,
Nothing for nothing.
yes. They were.
Technically.
I didn't want to argue with him. At that point, he was pretty ticked off. Do you have anything else to say, Cody? We ran out of music. You've been so slow.
Well, finally, Sterling. An update on Sterling Marlin. He had a setback after deep brain stimulation surgery back in April. Doctors found excess fluid on his brain, and they had another procedure to remove it. But they say he's back on track, and they're happy with his progress.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Sterling Marlin back behind the wheel. Good dude, has meant a lot to racing, former Daytona 500 winner, and we definitely wish you the best, Sterling, on your road to recovery, and we'll be praying for you, brother.
Absolutely. I mean, as a kid, I remember him getting out of that car at Daytona and pulling that was like phenomenal. Well, Earnhardt did it.
What the hell is he doing?
Earnhardt did it. Well, he kind of just did the window while he was driving. He
right.
never got out of it.
Yeah.
He was still running, right? He was under caution when he did that.
Yeah, he ticked off a lot of people on the backstretch grandstands, though. Because they asked him after the race about it, and he said, "All those people back there in the cheap seats, they don't know any better." It was something to that effect, and I happen to know a few people that were sitting in the cheap seats, and they got quite offended at it, but they got over it.
That's funny.
His car was fast this weekend at Bristol.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. It's hurt now.
Kyle Ivey's a good shoe.
Yeah,
I will
he
say
was doing
that.
a good job, and he took a hard hit down the front stretch there.
So Kenneth Smith says, "Happy birthday to Tom Ryan. And Kenneth, you cannot say happy birthday to Dylan Smith yet.
You know who that is, right?
No.
That's my old man.
Oh, that's your old man.
That's Pops.
Oh, there you go. Where is he now?
Vermont, hanging
Oh, he's
out.
Vermont.
He's
Last
retired.
time he was in like the Caribbean or something, wasn't he?
last time him and Mom were calling me from Aruba.
Okay, Dad, next week on the show, you can say happy birthday to your son. All right?
That's cool.
Today, we're just going to reserve it for old Tom Ryan.
That's fair.
Yeah, Bob, thank you. In a couple months, yes, you will be 50, but obviously I am older than him.
Can we get a birthday sprinkler?
All right. And by the way, Cody Geyer, you are single, right? Ladies, email him or hit him up on Twitter. Slide into his DMs.
Wait. You might as well say page him, email him. DMs, bro.
I just said that.
Hit him
I
in the
got it.
personals.
Dude, I'm
He's
50.
showing
I'm
his
50.
age.
Yeah, you really showed your age on that one.
Oh, my gosh.
Whatever.
And Ben Watkins chiming in as well. He is absolutely right. It's Dream Week at Eldora Speedway. The big Dream Week going to begin. You can see all of that on dirtondirt.com. I will certainly be tuning in because I'm a big lover of dirt late model racing, as you can see. You know what it is? Like Mark Keeler was like, oh, man, you're all dirt late model up here. Well, we got Kendra Adams up here, okay? So that's good.
We miss her.
But at the same time, pavement racing, in the super late model world and, a little bit on the modified world, they have them, but they don't have much in super late models.
We don't.
So get to it, Dylan.
I know.
You can make a bundle.
I'm actually working
You
on
can
that.
fund your racing.
I just called Lionel. We had a
There you go.
conversation. We're working on.
I can give you some big wigs at Lionel.
because we're working on a little project here. Might have to tap into the old BD.
There you go. Absolutely. Good people over at Lionel. But, so a lot of people tuning in right now. Jim Geyer. Wonder who Jim Geyer is. Huh? Wonder who Jim Geyer is. He probably, he didn't email. He probably texted at least, Tom Ryan.
Yeah,
he
Tom.
texted his son. Andy, mods are coming back to Martinsville. That was big news over the week. If we had Brandon Paul on the phone, I'm sure he would be talking about that right now. The NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour, it was announced last week, coming back to the paperclip, Martinsville Speedway, to carry on tradition. Tom Ryan knows I have these photos. I know way before everybody was born here, with the exception of Tom Ryan and Mark Keeler, modifieds at Martinsville Speedway circa 1986, I believe it was. And it was really cool. I got some. It's right over here in the break room, and some cool photos from back then, and some cool photos not only of the modifieds, but it was a double dip back then, which was, I think, still at that time, maybe not. It was the NASCAR Late Model Sportsman, or it might have been the Busch Series
that
at
weird
that time.
crossover point
Exactly. So you have Sam Ard, Jack Ingram, Robbie Moroso, Tommy Gugu Clusters Ellis.
I didn't know that one. That's a good name.
Yeah. it was some really cool machines back then. What'd you say, Tommy?
Nothing. We're just
Are you just talking amongst yourselves and
we're
not
back
paying
here
attention
playing.
to us?
Yeah, pretty much.
We're
We're trying to
look
line
at
up a
Mark.
commercial break for you.
Look at
so.
Mark's earmuff. You know they weren't paying attention. Look at that thing.
Look at that.
Hanging off.
I was listening.
By the way, the Morning Bullring presented by Hyperco, and we appreciate Hyperco for coming on board. We should have said that right off the top of the show, and we did not. That's because we're not used to having a sponsor here on the Morning Bullring, honestly.
Well, yeah, it's new, so bear with us. But I've been saying you guys' name all weekend around everywhere. So
Yeah.
Hyperco.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Zach, make sure we tag them on social media as well. So we appreciate the folks from Hyperco coming on board. And hey, they are underneath Bubba Pollard's car, Hyperco Springs, and they do a good job for a lot of competitors, both in the dirt and the pavement realm. So
And off road.
Off-road as well, absolutely. Yeah,
off-road.
big on off-road as well. So I'm over at the off-road deal with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series, and that is a blast, I'm telling you. Any circle track fan that puts their nose up on that, you're nuts, because it's kind of like a combination of, short track racing, motocross, road course racing, and a little Evel Knievel put in the mix.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, that always wears me out. Like, racing is a community, and we all should support each other. So everyone's like, I ain't going here because of this and that. And it's like, it's racing, man. Just go enjoy it. Take your friends, take your buddies, get some beer, hang out.
Absolutely.
Before we move on from that, though, I had to ask you, do you like the Bristol modified race more or the Martinsville modified race? Because I've never seen them race at at Martinsville, so I have nothing to compare it to.
You know, it's really hard to separate the two. It's kind of like, everybody asks me, what's my favorite track or what's my favorite event. I like a lot of different events, and, Mark would be saying I'm waxing poetic and, political right now. But I do like both Martinsville and Bristol. Just from a traditional standpoint, though, I'll probably go with Martinsville only for the mere fact that, I remember waking up in the morning, my dad waking me up with a cowbell back in the day and going, come on, let's go, get up. You want to see a modified race in Martinsville? Let's go. You got to get up. And I'd hop in the back seat, when I was, 12, 13 years old. And we would drive that day all the way down to Martinsville to catch the end of, practice and qualifying and so forth, and then be there for the big race on Sunday. And we would make that commute from Long Island each and every year. And it was just one of the cool things. We'd eat at Clarence's Steakhouse just down the road.
You got to.
So, it was a lot of fun. So just for the mere fact of tradition, I would go with Martinsville, but I think Martinsville, is great. The modifieds belong on Bristol as well. To me, it was a little disappointment not to have that on the schedule this year because, I'm a modified guy. Some people say, I forgot my roots, so to speak. No, I didn't forget them. Just don't get to see them that often. And I always
spread
talk
your roots.
Yeah, I always talk well about the modifieds, but at the same time, listen, you got to go with what you're going with right now. And the funny thing is, I did tick off somebody this past weekend because they said, Bob,
no way.
Yeah, they said, Bob, you cover a lot of forms of motorsports, and this is not just a Johnny-come-lately what I'm doing right now, okay? But they asked me what my favorite form of motorsports is right now, and they said it's modifieds. One guy said in the TV truck, and I said, no, believe it or not, it's not. And I know I'm probably going to tick off some people from the Northeast, and I apologize. I love modifieds, okay? But the world has evolved, and so have I. And because of that, I'm a big lover of dirt late models. That's my favorite form of motorsports in the world because they look like they're out of control all the time. There's different lines. There's 2, 3, and 4 wide racing like we saw at the Clash of the Mag down in Columbus, Mississippi this past weekend. So because of that, I'm going to go with definitely the dirt late model realm.
I've had this conversation with a lot of people recently. Funny you should mention that. And I think the dirt stuff, I think the World of Outlaws, the sprint cars, the open wheel stuff is cool. I really can appreciate and think those guys are bad to the bone. But if I was going to race something on dirt, I would want it to be a dirt late model for sure.
Yeah.
They just look like fun. You can kind of root and gouge and bang. It reminds me of kind of where we're at in asphalt racing. You can really get after it with each other.
You can.
And lean on each other, and you don't have to worry about going for a loop,
You tell me watching Bobby Pierce go around a 3/8 of a mile racetrack and banging that right rear quarter off the wall each and every lap. You tell me that that's not exciting? Well, I tell you're a fool, honestly, because it was flat out exciting. And, I saw Earl Pearson Jr. after the race at Magnolia this past weekend. Earl, who's a 4-time Lucas Oil champion, is known as a bottom feeder. So we kid him about that. And here's Earl Pearson on the outside at Magnolia, hitting the wall and coming through the field. And I saw him at Buffalo Wild Wings after the race. And I said, Earl, what the heck? You're on the outside, brother. And he's like, oh, man. He goes, I am wore out. So old Earl wasn't used to doing that, but he did a good job. Had a great finish. Good run for him in the challenge for the championship. Jonathan Davenport, by the way, Superman. That's right. There it is. Superman. Got his 7th victory of the year. That was on Friday night in prelim action, and then wound up 3rd and kept a huge point lead for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.
That dude just gets it done.
Oh, yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about how good he is and that program is, because they change people and year after year, and people try to get closer, and they just keep winning.
Doesn't make any excuses. Somebody puts them in the wall. It's like, that's racing. We'll just keep on going. That's what I love about JD. He's a racer. He's gritty. He likes to go out fishing. I love to go out fishing. He got a big old fish a couple weeks ago. I saw on social media. I'm like, dang, it was about this big. So
how big was it?
This big. But so a lot going on, and of course we have a lot to talk about here on the Morning Bullring. We're going to be celebrating Tom Ryan's birthday all day long.
5-0, baby, 5-0.
That's right, 5-0. He is golden. Are we ready for a break? Okay.
Yep.
Let's go to break. We need a break. You can tell. You're listening to the Morning Bullring, or watching. We don't know. We don't know why you would watch old Mamba and I. But anyway, we'll be right back here on the Morning Bullring on Speed 51.
Hyperco.
Hopefully you're having fun. Absolutely.
It's funny, like I tweet.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We will take you behind the scenes.
Just a meathead.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, historic races, and thousands of on-demand videos. The Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the greatest video coverage.
Hey race fans, download the new Speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
The ROC Modified, Saturday, June 15th at Lake Erie Speedway, driven by Pro Waste. Night at the Races, presented by Jim Moss Builders, featuring ROC Modifieds, must-see racing sprints, ROC TQ midgets, and the ROC 4-cylinder dash series, plus fireworks and Twin State Auto Club night. Lake Erie Speedway, June 15th. Don't miss this tremendous event. Visit LakeErieSpeedway.com to purchase tickets.
Saw a cool commercial there for Lake Erie Speedway. The Race of Champions Modified Series will be going there, and that's going to be a cool event, a beautiful facility in the home of the Race of Champions 250 later in the year. I'm Bob Dillner. He is Dylan Smith. Wesley Outland still not in the house. Where's Wesley is what he always likes to say. Okay, we need that little, clown suit that he has, that caricature that he puts on his social media. Where is here? I think he's a zombie from the weekend at Bristol.
It was a long night, but he
Yeah.
did have Mark Keeler was in. Mark got in here about 5. I was here. Zach's here. Cody was here. Wesley, where you be, bro? Where you at?
Gosh, he's just, I know he's not hungover, but, he might be hungover from the lack of sleep. You guys were there forever. I mean, I was in the hotel room. Mark knows because he was getting 1,000 text messages from me, on Saturday. And I was watching some of the coverage when you guys kick-started and so forth and, helping you out as well and
Yes, you did.
Talking to you. So, the funny thing is, this is the difference between dirt racing and pavement racing, okay? Pavement racing, you start way early in the morning. You got to practice and practice and practice. And you had practice the day before, by the way. And then you have qualifying. And then you have some preliminary races. And then you have some feature races. And by the way, we need a break, as well. So I don't know. It just gets to me sometimes, for sure, something's got to be done, in terms of that. The days are just too long. It's rough on the crew. Honestly, I hate keeping all you guys there for as long as we do, and like I said, I went in at 4:00 on Saturday because that was our crew call. They actually pushed it back an hour because we were there the 2 days prior and we had everything set and so forth and tested. But they didn't even get on the racetrack until like 7 or 7:30. 7 or 7:30 they were on the racetrack. And we, with the dirt late models of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, we were out by like 10. Okay, now there was some other racing there after, street stocks and, some other crate late models and so forth. And I don't know how late they went, but at the same time, just compare that. Okay, they had 3 laps of hot laps. They had qualifying for a couple of laps, and then they went right to racing. Heat races, by the way. Okay, and we were still out of there mega early. And I know I'm on a soapbox a little bit here, but tell us what you think on social media, between dirt and pavement racing. You guys were there for a marathon, got out the next day at Bristol, and we're not picking on Bristol or the event or anything like that because, that's the realm of
culture.
pavement. Time dirt racing, it's like you get in, they ain't gonna put a car on the racetrack prior to probably like 6:30 is probably the earliest, and a lot of times you're 7:30, 8 because of the sun and how it interacts with the pavement once the guys start running on it. So let us know what you think. Pavement dirt racing in terms of practice, is pavement too long? Is your day too long? I know the grandstands, at Bristol, I was trying to tell the cameraman, go tight. Because the fans weren't there yet. We were trying to show, all the practice because people are screaming, oh, why aren't you showing practice? Well, we show you practice, okay? But we were trying to go tight because we didn't want those naysayers to go on social media and go, oh, nobody's in the grandstands. Listen, cars just got hit the racetrack. Why would anybody show up for practice, honestly, unless you're involved in some shape, form, or fashion? It's practice. Like Allen Iverson said, it's practice.
We're talking about practice, man. We're not talking about the race. We're talking about practice.
We're not talking about the game. We're talking about the race. No, we're talking about practice. It's just I played that for my son recently, and he just
It's
loved
probably
it.
the first time he's ever seen it because
It was.
your kid's young.
Yes. Blaze is 17, and he was our camera 3 at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Did a great
Good
job, too.
Kyle Armstrong coming in here. Said Freddie Smith and Jonathan Davenport on the desk, 2 of his heroes. He said another one of his heroes, Dylan Smith, is there as well. Kendra Adams tuning in.
Kyle.
Got Kendra's car right there. We are keeping it there. Jim Swan, good morning from Summerville, South Carolina. That is a perfect town for South Carolina because when you think of South Carolina, you think about the summer, and we can tell by the heat the summer is already here. And he said 800 horsepower Supers running at Bristol. I don't think they're 800 horsepower.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. There's a couple things like that happened. So
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, it's not 800 horsepower though.
Not quite.
Yeah,
Even if it is, you can only put so much to the track.
Yeah,
So.
it's 500 or so.
Yeah,
It's not 800, maybe 600 if you have a full blown engine and not a spec engine or whatever.
Maybe.
But we appreciate you watching.
Maybe. We
Yeah,
have
maybe.
a big carb.
Maybe. Bring it. If you can do it, go for it. Anyway, a lot of other people tuning in this morning from Vermont. Sherry Morgan, do you know Sherry?
I bet I do.
I bet you just ticked her off.
It's Vermont.
Listen, my dad he had one of the best carpet businesses, flooring stores up there. So like a lot of people knew me through my dad,
Okay.
and I don't know them. So when they add me on Facebook, I'm like, who's this? And they're like, he's around his age, and I'm like, well, I should give him some love because they're from home.
Okay, Laura Tucker from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. You got to say it Detroit because that's how they say it up there. Good morning from New Hampshire. Andy tuning in. Patrick Hahey is also here. He says if we want more emotion out of Cody Geyer, we need to talk about Outlaw Late Models. The problem is Outlaw Late Models barely into their season up there. We will be talking about the Kalamazoo Clash, the Summer Sizzler, all sorts of stuff for sure from the Outlaw Late Model world as we inch closer into the summer. Kyle, mods at Martinsville, yes. And he says, I bet Priest signs up for that one. I don't know if the dates will conflict with his cup schedule. And Brian Bachman asking a question. Did I watch the ULMS Saturday feature from the Bullring? No, I didn't, but I did hear that it was an awesome race, so I'm looking forward to seeing some of the highlights from that one. Of course, I love dirt late models, and that's part of the whole world of dirt late model racing. So keep your comments coming in. The Morning Bullring presented by Hyperco. We thank you so much for supporting us here today. Hyperco, a big part of what Speed 51 does, and we appreciate Justin and everybody there. If you want to know more about their springs and so forth, go to hyperco.com. Check them out and get some news and information, whether it's dirt or pavement, doesn't matter. 100% short track racing. That's what Speed 51 is about, and that's what Hyperco is about as well.
Man, you just do that so
Yeah,
well.
I didn't even look at the website yet.
But you're not wrong. You're not
No,
wrong.
not wrong.
He's not wrong.
It was factual.
It's all factual.
It's someplace on here. There it is.
all kinds of racing and performance that they do. So thank you, Hyperco, for jumping on with us.
That's right. Hyperco, high performance coil springs and suspension components. There you go. Get into a little billboard read there for you. We should have Tom Ryan get on here. He'd be like, Hyperco. It's what's up.
Hyperco. What's up, Hyperco? Nothing.
Are you trying to push us here? He
Yeah,
didn't tell
we're-
us that anybody was
we're
on the
late.
line. So.
Yeah, I did. I texted you.
Oh, I didn't look at it.
We're only 7 minutes late
There
for
you
his
go.
interview.
Chucky, sorry about that, brother. We were talking here on the morning Bullring, and I didn't know you were on the line. Are you?
How you doing this morning?
Not bad, dude. Not as good as you.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky. It was a good weekend.
Well, how about that? You're like the king of street stocks at Bristol. 3 victories. What's that mean to you?
Oh, man, it's really cool. You know, my dad won back in, I think, 2010. And so just that planted the seed going into the first one 3 years ago to, go for the trophy. So me and my team put in a lot of effort to make sure we got the first one. And then just been kind of doing the same every year since.
So here's what I want to know. You've gotten the sword 3 times over now. You can't have that much room in the house to have 3 swords. Would you like to donate one here to Speed 51? We could put it in honor of you here at the Studio 51. You with us, Chucky?
Yeah, I've got a little static here, but
That's okay. We were wondering if you want to donate one of your swords that you won, since you have so many, to the cause here at Speed 51, and we'll put it up here in the studio.
yeah, man, I might hang on to those. They're pretty special. I got it over there in the corner with a guitar. I like that one too from Nashville. But they give out a lot of trophies, but you don't get swords and guitars just every day. So I'm gonna hang on to those.
Chucky, this is Mamba, man. It was awesome meeting you this weekend and watching you perform, winning 3 in a row. Talk to us about how awesome it was to have your family. Now, you had your family there for the first time, and then your dad slipped in there and finished second. So how cool is that?
Yeah, the static's pretty bad, but yeah, I think you're talking about my dad right. And helping him win. That's what we did for a long time when I was running super late model. I just crew chiefed him, and we can put all the focus on him. Now we got 2 cars to focus on. It makes it tough. So looking up in the mirror when he was passing Hudson with about 3 or 4 to go, that put a reality check on how hard we've really been working to make that dream come true. 1-2 finish is amazing anywhere, much less at Bristol.
I know. It was upright. It was up, though. We got the video up right now of you making that last pass with about 5 to go and your dad passing Brett, too. You and Brett have been going back and forth at Bristol for the last couple of years. How's that?
Not just Bristol.
Everywhere.
They're rivals.
So how's that rivalry been building? It's been awesome for me to watch here just as of late, but you guys seem to like you have a good relationship, too.
Yeah, when I passed him on the last lap the first year with a little bump and run, that didn't go over so well. It kind of hurt our racing friendship there. But I think once he kind of watched the video and seen there was just a little more air than it was a bump, even on the street stock got him loose. Over the next 6 months, he kind of chilled out and realized that I didn't just knock him out of the way. It was racing for the win at Bristol, and so we race hard side by side every week. We're always starting next to each other, and he goes through the field faster than I do every week. He's a wheel man and hustles the car, and I kind of just lay low and kind of come through just like we did over the weekend. But he's an awesome competitor, and he's what makes our team better. We strive to beat him, and I'm kind of shy and quiet, and don't have much to say, and my car owner's kind of the opposite, and that's how Brett Hudson is. They like to talk and stir the shit. So they're always betting. I think they had some money on the line again the other day. So it's always $1 here and $1 there, but I think they stepped it up a little bit for that race. So I think the payday for us was a little bit better.
Yeah, you guys we were sitting there on the grid. Brett just got the pole. He was sitting on the pole, right? And he had the track record at the time. And he looks up, here comes that white 44 off for turn 4, top of the board. And he was just like, dag nabbit, like again. He had to give up that $1 to your owner there. That was pretty funny moment for us to watch. And we caught it all on camera, so that was pretty cool.
Hey, Chuck, what was it like, with you and your dad? Obviously, you mentioned your dad's win back there, several years ago, but you've been able to beat him here, and you finished 1-2 at Bristol on Saturday. What was that like in terms of, bragging rights, so to speak? I know you're a calm, shy guy, but did you say, hey, Dad, got me another sword?
Still having a little hard time hearing you there sometimes, but means so much, and we run super late models all over the country, and had a lot of fun doing that. But a lot of these street stock cars around is a lot of fun, and I'm lucky enough to have a team and a car owner where during the week I only got to do 25% of the work. He gets all the maintenance done, and I come in and do the setups, and that's the stuff that I really like doing. I just have a lot of fun racing street stock.
Hey, when are we going to get you back in a super late model? That's what I want to know right now.
Well, we tried a few weeks ago, and that didn't work out like we wanted.
What happened there? Come on, lay it out there, Chucky. I heard you didn't like the race car.
I've always had input on what I'm driving, and I'd make suggestions, try to make it better, and that wasn't the right way to do it, I was told. So everybody has their own way of doing things, and we just didn't see eye to eye, and we were not where we needed to be. Not all the car's fault, not all my fault, just didn't work out. And very disappointing to be with that kind of team, with that kind of money, them kind of cars. Van Dorn's cars are some of the best out there. So it hurt my pride for sure. And I'm partial to blame for it also.
Yeah, I know how it goes. I've actually, listen, I like that group a ton. But, man, I was on the team for that team one time, way back when. Sorry. And I put, a wrench a quarter inch out of where it was supposed to be in the toolbox. And, boy, did I get hell for it. So I only worked for that team one time. That's it, one time. But are there any other opportunities for you, Chucky, to get back behind the wheel? Because we miss you. I mean, you're racer, hard-nosed family. What are we going to see you do for the rest of this year? And is there any chance for a super late model?
No, I don't foresee anything with the super late models. We're looking at the schedule last night, looking for some big races, maybe up north or down south. Just do something different with the street stock. That's what we got. I've been kind of pushing the car owner. He has a lot of dirt background about going some dirt modified racing. I'm all about the one-day shows or racing Friday night somewhere and going racing Saturday night versus spending 3 days at Bristol. It's hard on a family, and it's all for one race, 150-lap show. So if we can do some dirt modified racing, that would be really cool.
That's interesting that you say that, because we were just talking about that here in the studio in terms of dirt racing versus pavement racing. Chucky, I went to a dirt race on Saturday night. I came in at 4. They didn't hit the track until 7. I was out by 10:30. I mean, it's just a totally different ball game. What do you think about that in terms? You're a pavement racer. What are your thoughts on all that?
I've only ran one dirt late model one time for the guy that I drive for now, and it was really fun. Like you said, we were driving the racetrack on a Friday night. It was rained out, so we drove another hour west to another track and got some practice in before it rained out. But you can go anywhere you want and race them dirt cars. It seems like. And my family wasn't allowed in the pits, and my kids couldn't get down the pits at Bristol. Where in the dirt world, it's just given they're going to be there. So that means a lot.
Chuck, we were also talking about practice and how much practice that we have in asphalt racing. What do you think? Do you think that we need to cut back on that? Do you think practice is kind of where it should be, or what's your take on that, on asphalt versus dirt and the amount of practice?
Man, I'm big on practice. I like cutting laps. If there's 20 laps of practice, I want 30 laps of practice. Wherever we go, we talked about practicing at Salem on Thursday before we left for Bristol. That's how you get better. But I think in the dirt world, your practice is your main show's on Saturday night. You go run somewhere on Friday night to kind of dial it in. Where that's a little different than it is for asphalt. So, I love practice. So I don't like cutting practice short. I want every lap I can get. So.
Timmy McCready actually told me about that this past week, because we had some prelim nights in Mississippi where I was, and he said, listen, they were shorter events on, Thursday and Friday, but they still paid. So it's like paid practice instead of racing, Wouldn't you rather have multiple, even if they're smaller features, if it's a multi-day weekend, Chucky? If I'm listening to you, you love practice, but why not have practice be a race and get paid for it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I think the dirt, that's how I kind of feel like the dirt world works. You just, you go race for a lot of 1,000 win shows, and you count that as your practice, but you're actually racing. So, if Bristol had a race Friday night instead of the 2 30-minute practice sessions or 3 30-minute practice sessions, may have been a lot better. You might have put more fans in the stands or what, but I'm nowhere near to make that call. But I'm all about racing also. So if we could race Friday and Saturday, it would been much better for me.
So I want to know, I'm looking at a picture of you, or I was, of you in Victory Lane, and you're with your family down there. They're presenting you the sword. You got the gladiator. Who's held the sword more? You, your kids, who's held the sword more?
My daughter, for sure. We were home yesterday, and we got a bunch of kids in the neighborhood, and we ran over to my buddy Todd Craig's house. He ran down there, the late models, and we went to his pool. And my daughter's whipping the sword around, and it has a case on it. She's like, I want to show him, the actual sword. So she's only a 50-pound girl holding this 20-pound sword, and I'm a little nervous with all these kids around, but she likes showing it off for sure.
So where do all these 3 swords now sit in your home? Where are you going to showcase them? We want the picture here. What is Chucky's house like?
Well, when I first come in, it goes to the kitchen, right to the main room of the house where everything's going on. I want to look at it for a while. The wife really don't like it in there, but that's where it's sitting right now. I'm going to bring it to work tomorrow, and we're going to show it off for sure. But we're very lucky to have 3 swords, and love racing at Bristol. So pretty awesome.
Chuck, we talked about how big of an event, the U.S. Short Track Nationals is, and how much it means to you. When you bring home 1 sword, that's awesome. And now you've brought home 3 for the people around you that, you work with and your buddies that you hang out with. How cool is that to be able to share that stuff with them?
Oh yeah, it's my guys. They're crazy. They have a lot of fun with it. I should send you a video. We were drinking a few beers after the race, waiting to get out of the track. One of them crazy guys jumped out with a sword and started directing traffic with it, motioning Brett Hudson which way to go out of the track. And I don't think that went over so well. He was pretty cool about running third until that, I think. So we got a good laugh out of it, and hopefully he'll rub it off a little bit. But we have a lot of fun with it for sure.
Well, Chucky, we appreciate you coming on the Morning Bullring, presented by Hyperco, and big congratulations to you, the family, and you get a little bragging rights at least for another year on the old man.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on, and y'all have a great day.
You got it. Chuck Barnes Jr., the winner for the 3rd time during the Short Track U.S. Nationals at Bristol in the CRA Street Stock Division. A heck of a shoe. Always loved watching him even in the Super Elite models. I wish he would come back there, but I'm really intrigued by him maybe running some modified racing on dirt.
I knew that you kind of piqued your ear. Yeah, it's like Kenny Wallace. Kenny went back to dirt, and he talks about how much he loves it. So I'm sure Chuck will enjoy that. And it was pretty cool listen to him talk about his driving style versus Brett's driving style, because you could literally watch that on the race. Like, Brett tore up through there, and Chucky just kind of, and then all of a sudden, here we are with 20 laps to go, and Chuck's working him over. So it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, street stock racing is pretty neat, too. I tell you what, I've watched him on Winchester. I watched him on some shorter tracks. I watched him at Salem Speedway. We've been there.
Yes.
We've seen the street stocks at Salem.
Lot.
They're sideways like a dirt track every single lap.
So like Chuck was saying, Salem is one of the tracks that they use to prepare. So they're bouncing around. The track's all wore out, and they're just up on the wheels sawing on that thing from the time they start to the time it ends. So, It's pretty awesome to watch those guys move around the racetrack.
Yeah,
so
they're a
much.
lot of fun. The Kimmel's pretty darn good there as well.
Yeah, he's only won there a couple times.
Yeah,
right?
just a few times. So
a few hundred.
All right, we'll be right back here on the other side of the break. We'll talk to the gunslinger here on the Morning Bullring, presented by Hyperco.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We will take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, historic races, and thousands of on-demand videos. The Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the greatest video coverage.
Hey race fans, download the new speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
The ROC Modified, Saturday, June 15th at Lake Erie Speedway, driven by Pro Waste. Night at the Races, presented by Jim Moss Builders, featuring ROC Modifieds, Must-See Racing Sprints, ROC TQ Midgets, and the ROC 4-Cylinder Dash Series, plus fireworks and Twin State Auto Club Night. Lake Erie Speedway, June 15th. Don't miss this tremendous event. Visit LakeErieSpeedway.com to purchase tickets.
Welcome back to the Morning Bullring, presented by Hyperco. Make sure you check them out on the web. Hyperco, high-performance coil springs and suspension components. They actually power a ton of super late models around the country. Hyperco.com. Check them out on the internet.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming on. We're really happy to have your support, and we support you back.
Absolutely. That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
Come on, can't you say anything more intelligent than that?
That was pretty intelligent. I felt that was very heartfelt and spoken clearly.
It was definitely heartfelt.
I'm working on my clarity. Speaking of clarity, I want to give a shout out to a couple people. My neighbor Kayla Colson.
Oh,
and,
boy.
Wayne Ladd back in Vermont.
Look at
and Teddy Kuhn
Look at that.
up in Connecticut.
Okay, by the way, so here's the deal, and we're going to call Wesley out, okay?
Wesley,
because I said, I finally texted him about 7:44. I said, where the heck are you? And he said, you said yesterday that you overbooked some people, so I figured I would let Mamba do the first hour. And so you know what I texted him back? I say, you don't figure, I do. I said, it's okay to say you overslept. And then he texts back, he goes, I did oversleep.
Kids, this is a learning moment. Uncle Bob's giving you a learning moment. If you're wrong, just say you're wrong the first time, because now I got to give you the smoke.
Yeah.
I gotta give you all the smoke now if you're going to lie.
Listen, my wife always says honesty is the best policy. Okay, so that's the best. Hey, dude, I overslept. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but my dad always told me that it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission. So how's that work?
Well, yeah, but you still might make mistakes.
Oh, okay.
By the way, I think on the shot, we got to move these cars back a little bit. Just
Yeah,
get them in. There we
get
go.
them in there.
There we go.
Let me
Got to get them.
Let me get my body armor.
There you go.
Up and look how pretty that looks.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney's going to be kissing your butt today.
I hope so.
He's probably not even watching.
He's asleep.
More time for the news. To get you caught up with what's going on in the world of racing, here is young Cody Geyer, just 20 years old, out of somewhere in Indiana.
Who's ya?
Well, I forgot to say this during the first part, but NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour at Thompson, Doug Kobe picked up his third win of the year.
I'm surprised the modified people didn't give him a ration of you-know-what for forgetting about the mod squad and the by the grace of God and 600 horsepower.
You mean Connor hasn't texted us?
I know. Connor's still sleeping. I told him he can come in at 10 today. He was cranky.
When isn't he?
Cody, keep rocking it.
But,
baby.
after only 2 wins the last 2 years, he already has 3 this year, so definitely back for sure. And then back to the Bristol for the U.S. Short Track Nationals. Stephen Nasse picking up the big win after driving back through the field, passing Casey Roderick with 4 to go. Then Mike Skinner winning the Pro Late Model portion. You'll be on later in the show. And then we just talked to Chuck Barnes Jr., who won the Street Stock feature for a 3rd year in a row. And Tiger Tom Gosser picking up the win in the Vorse Compact Touring Series.
Tiger Tom Gosser. Where's he from, by the way?
Marklettville, Indiana.
Woo, he was on top of it.
I knew that one too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Tom is actually cool, man. I met him out in the parking lot. Him and his brother were working on their stuff.
Were you drinking beer with him?
I wasn't. I was not. I was working.
You don't know this is really, this is not coffee, this is not water. It could be something else, right?
You don't know what's in here. No one saw me open it.
That's why we do what we do at 7 o'clock in the morning. No,
sir.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Kidding, of course.
Irish coffees.
Mamba was offered beer in the pits, and he declined politely.
Yeah, well, you have to when you're working. You know what I mean? It's, later on in the day, all bets are off, but you have to while you're working.
I mean, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Breaking news here. Breaking news.
Still working. You still have the shirt on. And should we sing Happy Birthday to Tom?
Yeah, let's.
Happy birthday to you. Actually, we can't because Facebook might shut us down.
Yeah, that's true. All right, back to the news.
Yeah, that's right.
Forgot we were still on that.
Live on the Speed 51 network was the Fast Track Racing Series from Toccoa Speedway in Georgia, where Carson Ferguson picked up his 2nd career Fast Track win and 2nd in a row. And then we go on to the asphalt with Pass North at Oxford Plains. Garrett Hall passed Ray Christian with 18 to go on to win there. And on the other side of the country, the Northwest Super Late Model Series, Alan Crest beat Trevor Christiani to the line to win at South Sound Speedway.
Say that 10 times fast.
I can't even say it once.
And then having braces just makes it worse.
Cody is so young. He's so young, he's got braces.
He's listening up, man. Getting some humor out of Cody now.
He's going to turn 21.
I'm excited.
And have a drink in his hand, probably with braces.
His first one.
I love it.
Yeah,
love it.
Be awesome.
And then ARCA Menard Series at Pocono, Ty Majeski picked up his 2nd straight win. He passed Riley Herbst with 8 to go there. And then the K&N East Series at Memphis, Chase Gabry picked up his 1st career win. And then we head over to the dirt where Bob was at over the weekend at the Clash at the Mag at Magnolia Motor Speedway. Mike Marlar picked up the win, leading 98 laps over T-Mac.
He didn't get it done. The Winfield Warrior, Mike Marlar.
The Winfield Warrior, Mike Marlar.
Yes, that's awesome. We're gonna get you into this. I'm telling you.
Over T-Mac and Superman.
There you go.
Listen,
getting her done.
I know we kind of just breezed through him, but Ty Majeski, that's a good story.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Ty Majeski, former #1 pick in the short track draft just a couple of years ago, and got a world of talent. And I got to perform last year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series with Roush Fenway Racing. Now kind of sort of like just, in the middle of no man's land right now. Chad Bryant gives him an opportunity to run in the ARCA Menard Series at the bigger tracks. He's won 2 consecutive races. Guy's got so much talent. He's a good personality. He's a guy that somebody needs to put in a car. And this is what's a crying shame in the world of racing right now. It takes money, not talent, to get in a race car, especially at the higher levels of NASCAR racing. And that is awful, 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 awful. And Ty Majeski, look at that truck field. It's talented, but Ty Majeski can come in there to that truck series and win races now in the proper equipment. Why wouldn't you want a driver like that? That's all I have to say.
That's the guy. Like he was just the #1 draft pick here recently, and we've seen what he does in the super late models. And I asked Chad earlier this year. I said, "How many races you got?" He's got about 5. I said, "How many do you think he's gonna get?" If we don't get all of them, I'll be disappointed. And they're back to back so far. So congrats to Ty and Chad Bryant and all them boys up there.
If he were to compete full time,
oh my goodness,
he and Michael Self would have a heck of a battle for the championship. Heck of a battle.
If you could get those guys to stay, and I know they want to move up, but if they could be like a cornerstone for ARCA, and now NASCAR owns ARCA, and they could kind of promote them guys. Imagine the fan base just start exploding with a real rivalry.
I'd like to see Selfie there. I mean, Selfie is admittedly at 28 years old, which is a crying shame. He's past his prime, right?
His prime.
Okay, so it would be neat to see him become more of what we've seen in the past, the Bob Shacks, the Kimmels, and so forth. You know, it would be nice to see somebody like that.
We need some.
We need, you know, someday maybe when Justin Allgaier is all done with winter races and stuff, he'll come back. You know, and run. Cool. He'll probably go to the dirt.
Yeah, he will.
He probably will. But we need more of that because it helps build names. It helps build the fact of, you know, oh, they're coming to Salem this week. I'm going to go see Michael Self. You know, it will help. And by the way, I didn't forget about Christian Eckes. He would be in the middle of that battle as well. But Christian, of course, didn't go to that race. Didn't attend, the race at Salem because he was ill and in the hospital. So he would be right in the middle of the championship battle as well. But we digress on time, Majeski. Back to Young Geyer.
And then World of Outlaws late models were at Cochran Motor Speedway and Lancaster Motor Speedway. This weekend, Big Setsy Brandon Overton won at Cochran, and at Lancaster, it was Brandon Shepard.
I feel like you're like the Yoda, and he's like your young Padawan Skywalker, just bringing Cody along.
I can't talk like Yoda though. I'm not even going to try it because I'd screw it up so bad. I can barely speak at 8 o'clock in the morning anyway.
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't know what's in that. Maybe you need a better coffee.
You know, there's a story behind that. One time when I was a radio disc jockey, I had water out. You know, and the boys in the radio station, they took the water, dumped it, put vodka in it.
Oh, my Lanta.
I did that, and I went
all
over the board, all over the microphone.
It's like when you're trying to get Coke, and then you get Pepsi, you're like, what is that?
What?
But way worse.
Yeah, I do that with my son's lemonade all the time. Like, I get a Coke. You know, we go out to have some pizza like we all did yesterday, and I'll grab their cup, not thinking, and I'll go. I just choked myself up. I was actually trying to act it out.
Great acting job.
But that's exactly what I did. So, it's just not good.
You ever
not
put salt in someone's soda?
Okay. We got Skinner on the line. Woohoo! We got the gunslinger. Young Geyer, you're out.
Bye, Cody.
We'll get to the rest of the news later. Let's go to the Hyperco hotline, the Double H, the Hyperco hotline, where first-time caller Mike Skinner is not a first-time caller on many shows across the country, but a first-time caller here on the Morning Bullring, presented by Hyperco. Mike Skinner, Bob Dillner, Dylan Smith. How you doing, dude?
I'm good. All I can hear is a big humming sound, like we have a bad connection. So
that's not good.
Bad. Maybe
we're gonna
try it again.
We're gonna call you back, dude. We're gonna call you back.
Call me right back.
You got it. And we blame it all on Mark Keeler. That's all we do. That's what we like to do here at Speed 51. Just blame it on Mark.
Yeah, that's what he's here for.
Yeah, exactly. He's like the punching bag.
Yeah, small in stature but big shoulders.
Yep. And we're going to change some cables, and not normally what we have happen here on the Morning Bullring, but of course this is a one of those primitive, raw shows where we just get on and BS about short track racing, which we love so much.
Man, it's life. Things happen, you know. We got to make adjustments.
So how tired were you after Saturday?
So originally I was gonna drive home because I travel a lot for working with Speed 51 and doing the other stuff I do. So I'm not here on Sundays a whole lot. So I really wanted to get to church for back to back weeks, and I was like, I'm gonna drive home. And Tom told me we'd be done at 10.
Well, I thought 10:30 too. I don't. Why were you so late?
We had Zach. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we had like 3 red flags. And I think we had 3 red flags in a couple events, so that drug it out.
That has to be built in into the schedule, honestly, because we've seen Bristol the last 2 years prior to this one, and there's going to be a red flag or two.
Yeah, I mean there was a bunch of them. I mean,
wow.
and they were big. There was some big, like we always see big wrecks there, but some lengthy cleanups, and it just kind of drugged the whole night out. Really,
yeah. I saw a lot of fluid, I think, from a compact car.
Blew up early on. We had one catch on fire. Actually, I was standing up with Steve Green on Victory Lane when it caught on fire, and I didn't see. Luckily, EMS got there pretty quick, but apparently my instinct didn't think it was quick enough, so I was running down. Nice. I was looking for a fire extinguisher because, those guys don't really have anyone talking to them. So I was, speaking of fiery, did you see the accident at South Boston this weekend?
No, I my wife kind of told me about it. She didn't see the video either, but she told me something happened at South Boston.
Yeah, so Jessica Dana was running, I think, passing for third, and had contact down the front stretch, and hit the fence really hard and got hit by another car. And
your connection's terrible.
He's live, by the way.
Oh,
We'll disconnect
Yeah.
and we'll try it again. We don't know what's going on here, honestly. It might be a bad cable, might be something. We'll get Mike Skinner on the line here just momentarily on the morning Bullring, but we got his mic muted now. So we were talking. How is she?
she's good.
Good.
She made a statement, and she's okay. But it looked like one of those crashes from a movie, and there's fluid all over the place, and all of a sudden it just ignited like by itself on the track. So I guess the heat of the cars going over it ignited that fuel, and it flamed up to the back of the car, and she got out, and someone carried her out.
So, I'm glad that she's okay, because that's always scary when you have that involved in racing. And South Boston Speedway is such a cool place.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why a lot of people go up there like her to go to race and compete against some of the best in the business.
Yeah, I mean, and she was running, I believe it was the limited late model. That's where she competes most of the time with Lee Pulliam. So
Hey, where's Wesley? If he
Wesley-
overslept, he should be here by now. Where the heck is Wesley Outland? You can hear my voice this morning. Okay, it's raspy, sexy, but it's like, come on. He's supposed to be in here talking with us.
Yeah, so you texted him
I did.
at what, 20 minutes ago?
Oh, it was more than 20 minutes ago. Let's see. He probably just woke up trying to get in the shower. He got the haircut last week, that sort of thing. We'll have to text him again and find out what's going on.
The haircut did look good this weekend, though. He was prim and proper,
Prim and proper,
Yes.
Wesley Outland. How about that?
up straight.
That's something that you don't hear often.
The West Man. He was ready to go all weekend. He is an
Oh,
entertaining.
there it is, by the way. Wow.
Oh yeah, there's the Jessica Dana.
Wow.
That's scary. She got out pretty quick, but
Wow, that car. Woo.
I think you can
What
see she kinda
happened?
I
mean,
had a whole angle of it, like the whole thing. I don't know if this is that video or not, but
Man, did the fuel cell just, get punctured or something?
yeah. So like the car came through the back and like get a side by, and it hit the left front of someone else's car, so it just ripped the whole back of it open. So it must have ripped the fuel line right there.
Wow, that is incredible.
You can see, I don't know, one of our crew members carried
Yeah.
into the wall right there.
And of course, you smoke and so forth, billows
Oh,
inside the
yeah.
cockpit of the race car real quick, but really good to see especially after that Jessica's okay.
I mean, and you got all that adrenaline pumping, and you don't really know what's going on exactly. You just know you hit hard, and so, man, God bless those safe race cars that Lee Pulliam and them boys build over there.
Absolutely, man. That's just unreal to see that right now, to tell you the truth. So, whew.
It's like right out of a movie. There's Zach actually showed me earlier this morning. There was one from Greenville, street stock. It looked like on the backstretch, hit pretty hard, and that one exploded into flames. That one was pretty big as well.
Mark, we could always go old school on this phone call too, and just put speakerphone up to the microphone if you want to do that. Will you be able to hear us if I hold it? We could try it. We'll try something. We're going old school.
Take it back to the concrete streets.
Yeah.
Original beats.
Yeah, indeed. We'll get rid of that shot right there. There we go. Wow. I'm glad Jessica Dana is okay after that wreck at South Boston Speedway. Of course, Bob Dillner, Dylan Smith on the morning Bullring. We're still awaiting the appearance of Wesley Outland. He's late for work this morning, overslept. The rest of us got in here on time. So we're going to get Mike Skinner on the line here and see if we can do this the old-fashioned way. Skinner, you hear me?
Man, you're loud and clear now.
Yeah, we're doing it the old-fashioned way. I'm literally holding the phone next to the microphone and talking to you because we had a cable. So how about it? What do you think about this past weekend? That was a hell of a ride.
Yeah, we had a cable go bad when we ran over that guy's suspension.
Yes.
Lap 3 at Bristol, and we knocked the brakes out of the thing. And the boys said, man, I think we're done. I said, no, we ain't either. I don't need brakes at Bristol. Put this thing back out there, and let's just everybody take a deep breath here and figure out how to fix this thing. We got a good car, and so we got back out and came from 25th back to, I think, 14th or something like that. They just ran 7, 8 laps there. We got another caution. And while that was going on, my oldest son went and got the parts to fix it. And then we got blessed with a pretty long caution, and we was able to get the thing fixed. And never bled the brakes or anything. I don't know why they worked, but they did. And was able to come from the back again, and man, we had an awfully good car. I used a lot of tire getting to the front, so when I finally passed him there, I tried to take it easy.
That's pretty cool. I mean, the performance that you did. How much fun was it? You know, I know you were a little bit emotional. You sound like you were calm. Hey, let's just fix it. But I heard you were a little bit emotional. But how much fun was it to come from the back of the field to come and win that thing?
Well, as you know, I mean, the whole reason they invert the start on late model races is because it'd be boring as heck if the fastest car just sat out there and rode all night. And it puts excitement in it. And my golly, it worked. I mean, it was really, really something. You know, my boys work really hard on this thing, and Dustin never quits. And we really had a package, you know, in the rear end and the front end of that car that we felt like was really, really good. But it wouldn't work for everybody. The car was really, really free. I mean, it was a handful to drive. And we made an adjustment right there before qualifying and tightened it up almost too much. And so, you know, I'm thinking, I don't know how many more times I'll ever get to run Bristol, if ever. And when that happened, I said, no, I'm not taking this like last year. We're gonna go, and hopefully nobody stops in front of me. And if they do, I'm just gonna run into them, I guess. But we were able to fix it. It was a heck of a lot of fun. I mean, that thing was so good on the top and so good on the bottom that I just felt like if the tires stayed up on it, we had a chance, and they did. One other thing, I mean, that Hoosier brought a great tire for the late model race at Bristol. It's a challenge to get tires to work there. I mean, you know, a lot of times you just get the things overworked, and actually they lowered the air pressure a little bit this year, which I feel like on long runs really helped everybody. But man, my hat's off to them. They didn't bring enough of them. We couldn't buy any. We were in the same set the whole time until we went to qualify. But at least the ones they brought were good.
We're talking to Mike Skinner on the phone, former NASCAR competitor, former NASCAR champion, and winner at Bristol Motor Speedway. We're doing it old school, literally on the phone, holding the phone up to the microphone here because we had a technical difficulty, but it's working just fine. We're able to talk to Mike Skinner. And Mike, I want to talk to you about Bristol. I know that place is special. Let me ask you, you know, had you ever won in the truck series there? I apologize. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I did. I think it was 2005. We were able to win in the truck. You know, I've led the race. I've been on the pole in the Cup race, the truck race, the Xfinity race, the late model race, and led the most laps. And my gosh, it's just like I can think of 2 Cup races there that we really had a good chance to win, and something would always happen. And we've had everything from blown tires to broken parts in the car or truck, and we were able to get it done in the truck, and now the car, and it was really, really just a fun time. It's probably my favorite short track. You know, as far as bank tracks, it's definitely my favorite short track. But it's so special, and when you go in there, you know, for a short track racer, when you walk into Bristol, it's like for the first time I walked into Indianapolis Motor Speedway to go run the Cup race there. Like, your hair just stands up on your arm, and you like, oh my God, I'm walking down Gasoline Alley. Bristol does that same thing. I mean, it does the same thing to me on the short track side of things.
So what is it like now? You know, you've won at Bristol a couple of times, and the other time was a while ago, Mike. I'm just saying. But getting that sword in Victory Lane, you know, that sword and that gladiator is a pretty cool trophy. You know, where do those trophies rank in your laurels of racing?
You know, I got a Daytona trophy. One of the coolest trophies I got is my Iowa. I won there a couple times, I think. And the Bristol. I mean, there's no question. My other Bristol trophy, it is one of my prized possessions. And it's funny because, you know, 90%, probably 99% of racers all come from short track ranks, whether it be dirt. Well, I started on dirt, then went to asphalt, and it's where we all come from, is the short tracks. But very seldom you run a short track like Bristol. It is a I shouldn't say it's a man's track because there was this little girl not too far behind me that ran awfully good. I mean, she did an amazing job, and my hat's off to them. But it's special. It's a special place. Bill Davis texted me. He was probably watching on Speed 51, and he said, "Man, that was very cool." I'm like, "This place is so special."
Yeah, Mandy Chick had a great run, actually. You noted her, and it was good to see Mandy have such a good run at the Bristol Motor Speedway in the Pro Late Models. And so what's going to happen to that sword now, Mike? That's what I want to know. Are you giving it to Angie? I don't know if you'd want to give the sword to Angie. She might poke you with it.
As long as she's not mad at me, it's okay. But we live up here in the mountains of North Carolina in the summertime, and then we stay the winters down in Florida, and we don't bring anything racing up here. It's a mountain cabin, and by golly, we brought that Bristol trophy and that sword to the mountains so all of our friends could watch it. And we had some people over last night and picked the race up, bought it on Speed 51 and rewatched it. So it was kind of cool. I'd probably rewatch it a few more times.
Definitely. I would as well. I saw a picture of Angie and the gang up in the grandstands. They looked like they had a good time. Despite the fact that you won, they had a good time. But they looked like they were having a good time at that type of an event anyway. It looked like a big party.
Well, pretty much at this stage of my life, everywhere we go is a big party. And we brought 10 or 11 buses from Mountain Falls to Bristol, and we had a big crowd of people there. We just had a big party, and a race broke out in the middle of it. So it was an amazing time, and I think all of our friends had a good time. There was 2 or 3 of them that had never been to a race, and now they're hooked. Now they're wanting to go to the SBRA race with us, or if we do any more late model racing, that they definitely want to be a part of it. So pretty much took up not most of it, but took up a big front row spot and medallion lot up there, full hookups for coaches and everything, and everybody pitched in and cooked, and it was just what racing used to be, and it's what racing's supposed to be. I just can't thank you guys enough for bringing attention to the short trackers to the world,
Hey, we love doing what we do, and we've known each other for a long time. And, I think it's really cool that you introduce new people and they become race fans. That's what we need. We need more race fans for sure. So I want to know with this late model team, what else is cooking for this year?
We don't have. We're hoping to not have to shut it down, but my partner's doing a different deal, and so we got the boys down there with the cars. We got a year lease on our building, and we are hoping to get a young, talented driver in that car. And if they need the old man to come run once in a while to show them how fast those cars will go, I'm more than happy to do it. But it's the boys just, man, they got a good thing going. We got a great platform, and our cars are obviously pretty fast. My oldest son Jamie won 3 races out of the 5 races at Speed Weeks this year in the backup car. So our secondary stuff's better than most people's primary stuff.
Hey, let me ask you something about what we've been talking about this morning. Dirt, very little practice. You go racing. It seems to be cool. Pavement, there's all this practice days before, that sort of thing. From your veteran perspective, and you've seen a lot, Mike, what are your thoughts on all of that?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. For me, I'm better the less practice that anybody gets because they don't have time to work on their stuff. We pretty much have a pretty good baseline on what we want to do, and our setup doesn't vary tons from track to track, but obviously it varies. And so for the veterans, you probably need less practice. But watching these short track races and watching all the practice, there's a lot of up-and-coming racers that need that seat time. So I get it. I understand all the practice, and I appreciate them having the practice day prior to the race. And, it's double-edged sword. There's a lot of people that are just, moving up out of the street stocks or whatever into the pro lates. They need that seat time. And if you don't give them that seat time, you're going to spend the whole race under caution because they're going to bust their butts.
And then that will definitely happen. You know, you need to. I just find that like the days are long. That's the one thing that I take exception with to some degree in terms of some of the short track racing, because it's just a monstrous day. But this short track U.S. Nationals, you know, you've been part of it. You've won now. You know, what do you think about this event going forward? Because it seems like the competitors love it. We got to get more butts in the stands. You know, so what do you think about this event?
Well, I know that we did some promotion for Bristol Motor Speedway, but we did it the week of, and I really feel like you've got to promote it out front a little bit further. You've got to do some packages where people can bring their families and come, and you know, I really hope that the competitors, you know, bring enough in the gate that it makes it worth doing. But when you go to Bristol, it needs to be a special deal. It needs to be a big purse for late model racers. I think if you raise the purse, which takes a sponsor, I get it, then you bring more cars. And I feel like if on the promotional side of things, it's just promote. I mean, if you run a racetrack, you got to be shaking hands and kissing babies. And I really feel like there's enough local people there. And you're going to draw from Charlotte and a lot of these people that come from Canada, from all over the place to come run that thing, they bring people with them. And I just feel like if we continue to make it a pretty big deal, I think that we'll put more people in the grandstands.
Well, I appreciate that. I definitely like that opinion, and I think you're absolutely right. And the one thing that I think you're right about as we march forward, next year would be the 4th edition of this event. I think you need a higher purse, you know, especially for the upper echelons of racing. Racing costs a lot, and I think you would just draw in more cars. Bottom line, you know, everybody loves racing Bristol, but you need that purse too.
You know, one other thing that I know that they do in like the vintage racing stuff, we've been doing a little of that lately. Something that would really be good for the two lower classes, not the pros or the supers, but there's guys that really shouldn't be at Bristol Motor Speedway. There's cars that really shouldn't be there, and there's drivers that aren't really ready for that. So they need to put, if it's going to be a 25-lap B main or whatever. And I love watching those little 4-cylinder cars. Man, they put on a great show. But it either needs to be you're going to run 25 laps or you got X amount of time.
Exactly.
Because that was brutal. Watching the same guy wreck 3 or 4 times and just take forever to get going again. That's what'll keep people from coming and buying a ticket and sitting in the stands. It's too drawn out. So one of the things, if I was them, I would consider looking at is going, okay, it's going to be a 50-lap feature or whatever, however many laps you want to make it, I don't care. But you got X amount of time to get those laps in. And if you don't get the laps in, whoever's in the front when the clock rings is the winner.
I love it. Love the idea, honestly. See that in a lot of different forms of racing, dirt, pavement, summer shootout does that at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the young racers. So, and I think it works perfectly. Hey, Mike, before I let you go, I've never asked you this, and, you know, we go way back, you know, to when you were in the Lowe's number 31 and so forth for Richard Childress Racing. And I want to know where you got the nickname, the Gunslinger, because I don't remember having that when you and me knew each other around the Truck Series and the Cup Series and so forth. So where did that come from?
It actually came from the Truck Series, and oddly enough, I can't remember who was the commentator on television that day, which shame on me, but you know, I have hit my head a lot. Anyway, I sat on the pole somewhere and led every lap and just annihilated the field. We lapped everybody but second or third place one time. Just kicked their butts. And so in Victory Lane, I don't even know what made me do it. I think what it was is because we used to do the Looney Tunes thing at Richmond.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was Yosemite Sam.
Oh.
And so, but I've always got into that stuff. But I've always been kind of the cowboy, redneck, whatever guy. And so it was a truck race, and I got out, and I stood up on the back of the truck, and I shot my fingers off like 2 pistols. And they asked me, they said, what was that about? I said, man, I don't know. I said, we kind of shot the competition down today. We qualified up front, ran up front all day, and just had one of those trucks or race vehicle that you only have a handful of times in your whole life where it was just perfect. Don't change anything. And that somebody up there said, "Wow, there's the gunslinger," and it just stuck. And it wasn't something we fabricated or made up. It was something that we got from the booth, and they said, "Well, old Skinner, old gunslinger, he shot him down, didn't he?" And it just kind of stuck, and then it kind of went forward. And it's kind of like I'll tell you one better than that one. When I don't know if you saw my wife jump on me in Victory Lane, but we were at Daytona in 2001, and we won the Bud Shootout, or not the dual race,
Yep.
the qualifying race. Beat Dale Jr. by about a foot, and Dale Sr. the next morning comes up. They got a thing in the front page of the paper, and Dale Sr. comes up and tells Angie, goes, "We need to talk." And Angie goes, "Oh, God, he's going to chew my butt out for doing that, And he goes over and he puts his arm around. He goes, "Whenever that boy wins a race, you need to do that. That's your signature. You stick with that." And she went, "Yes, sir." And so every time I've won a race, she jumps on me. I'm so damn old, I'm surprised I didn't fall down. But, they take me out there in my walker, and they take the walker away, and they slide me down in the car, and I race, and then she jumps on me. But I guess I got enough adrenaline going that I can hang out.
Yeah, that's what we'll say. We'll just say it's the adrenaline pushing you. But, Mike, that was an awesome win. When are we going to see you back in a late model? Do you have any other plans this year?
I really don't. I know that we're running the V-Rock series in the SBRA deal. We won Road Road Atlanta. It was a crazy race. Got to pass Al Unser Jr. with coming to one to go, and that was really a lot of fun in an old 67 Corvette. And we're going to Indy next. I think that's in August. And then we are going to run the last one at Virginia International, which, my gosh, Connie, that racetrack, you could do a cup race there. That place is beautiful.
We need more of that stuff. I would love to see a cup race at Virginia International there. That'd be a lot of fun. Mike Skinner, a big congratulations to you. Make sure you tell Angie we all said hello, and we appreciate you still being involved in the short track level, and hope to see you at the track sometime soon.
All right, man. Thank you.
You got it. Mike Skinner on the line here on the Morning Bullring, presented by Hyperco. We appreciate the folks from Hyperco coming on board with us here. I want to remind you to go visit them at hyperco.com. Mamba, was he accurate in everything that he had to say here?
100%.
There you go. I wasn't there, so I had to ask a pro.
Yeah, I was there. And
I'd ask Wesley, but he hasn't been here until now.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
hey.
Wesley. Yeah.
The West man.
Yeah. I like so debonair, when I text him, he kind of
man.
says, well, I figured you said you overbooked, so I'd come in later. Like I told him, you don't do the figuring. I do. Okay. Number one, number two, just say you overslept, man.
The coolest thing that I think Mike said was the little bit of insight to Dale Sr.'s thought. He was so far in front of everybody. Like, that's just another thing that you can point to Dale Sr. Like, man, his branding was like, poof.
Absolutely. I mean, he was at the, front and center in terms of thinking of marketing ideas and so forth. And he was very helpful. And, the funny thing is what Mike was saying, like with the shoulders and stuff, that's what Dale would do. Okay. I remember being at an event at Charlotte Motor Speedway back in, maybe it was 98 or so.
6.
And I was doing a live hit in the garage area, and I wish I had this somewhere. But in the middle of live hit, Dale came up, senior, big pause, put his hands on my shoulders, and just simply said, "Keep up the good work, young man." And I'm like, whoa! I almost lost my train of thought because that was so important to me because. There's a picture somewhere. You thought the microphone was
I was like, oh.
There's a picture somewhere of me, and I got to bring it out, maybe tweet it out a little bit later on today. But I used to have one of those denim baseball hats with a big number 3 on it because I was a big Senior fan. Loved Dale Earnhardt Sr. That was my boy. And, to this day, obviously miss him. And, interesting. I could tell some funny stories with Dale Earnhardt Sr. He was always capturing you by surprise. Honestly, and he was a guy, and I'll tell this before we go to break here, just because we started dabbling on talking about Dale Earnhardt Sr. One of my most interesting, not my favorite story, but one of the most interesting stories is Dale always used to play games with the media. And we were at Dover, and I kept on seeing J.R. Rhodes, his manager at the time, would peek out, and look and see how many people were there. And there was a big conglomerate of media behind his rig. And I looked at my brother, and I think Steve Green was there, our cameraman, and I said, Dale ain't coming out the door. He ain't coming out this one. And they're like, what do you mean? Everybody's here. I'm like, follow me. Like, where are we going? We're going to miss it. I said, follow me. And the rig's at Dover on the one side. They park up to a grassy hill.
Right.
Okay. So I said, he's going out the side door. He's going to go around the front, going to climb up where you climb up that ladder. He's going to go underneath the wooden railing and out to the coach lot. So they're like, really? I'm like, just stick with me. So I go out around to the front, and I'm there. And he comes around the corner, and he thinks he's all like coy and stuff.
Like,
he's cool. I'm out of here. I avoided it. And he looks up, and he sees big old me, and he goes, you got me. All right. And he did an interview. So, that's the way he was. Those are the games he played.
I got shell-shocked, no lie, with Skinner and Victory Lane. I started fumbling over my words because halfway through, I was like,
we'll find out on MAV TV.
Yeah. MAV TV.
Well, actually, no, the Pro Late Model Race, not MAV
Yeah,
TV.
you're
That's
right.
right. That was just on the stream. Sorry.
But halfway through, I was like, man, I'm interviewing Mike Skinner at Bristol after a win. Like, this is, and Mike, it's
for
cool.
a kid from Vermont.
Yeah.
That's pretty special.
It was pretty cool.
Absolutely. We'll be right back here on the Morning Bullring, presented by Hyperco. We'll have the debut in this show of Wesley Outland. The loudmouth himself is finally in the house after oversleeping here today. He's going to get a ration of you-know-what here on the Bullring. We'll be right back.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We will take you behind the scenes.
It's just a meathead.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, historic races, and thousands of on-demand videos. The Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the greatest video coverage.
Hey race fans, download the new speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
The ROC Modified, Saturday, June 15th at Lake Erie Speedway, driven by Pro Ways. Night at the Races, presented by Jim Moss Builders, featuring ROC Modifieds, must-see racing sprints, ROC TQ midgets, and the ROC 4-cylinder dash series, plus fireworks and Twin State Auto Club night. Lake Erie Speedway, June 15th. Don't miss this tremendous event. Visit LakeErieSpeedway.com to purchase tickets.
Rise and shine. It's 8:39 in the morning on the Morning Bullring, presented by Hyperco. It's time to talk short track racing. I am Bob Dillner. Mamba is with me, as well as finally the sleepy one. We're going to call him Sleepy as part of the Seven Dwarfs now here on Speed 51. Wesley Outland, how you doing, Sleepy?
I overslept. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Then you lied to me.
Yeah,
I cut right to the chase, baby.
He's getting all the smoke right from the beginning.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's been a long weekend. Been a long couple of weeks, actually. I'm ready to get back home.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Honesty, always the best policy, my friend, for sure. I caught him on that one. He's red. Look at him. He's filling up pink right now.
He looks like that little nephew that Uncle Bob just came in.
There's a theme on the Bullring of getting Wesley both embarrassed and speechless.
We love Wesley, except for when he sleeps in.
I love y'all too.
I needed you, honestly, too, because my voice was breaking up a little bit.
Yeah,
My voice is not the...
Whoa.
What are you doing to me?
Be nice to Tom today. It's his birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom, really?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, buddy.
He's old.
Thank you, Wesley. Thank you.
Hang on.
Here we go.
I'm listening.
That's the Where's Wesley intro.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, this morning we were truly asking, where's Wesley?
Yeah.
Where were you?
You're not saying a whole lot.
You in bed?
I overslept, man. I'm seriously. I just overslept. This is like the worst torture ever. Seriously, like it's just like poking me with knives and prods. And
I mean, you're alive, and we've been talking about you all morning. Wesley, one of my old bosses, Jefferson Hodges, who's over at Penske now, he said it's fine to be late, but you got to bring in breakfast for everybody. So
Yeah, where's the breakfast?
I'll take everybody out to lunch.
Oh.
How about that? We'll do that.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah, Mark will. Yeah.
I may still owe Bob a steak dinner, but I'll hold you to the free lunch.
Just
Yeah,
get everything on the dollar menu. Us announcers, we don't make a lot of money, so we'll be good.
You know, the funny thing is we got, Mark and Wesley together right now. And Wesley has been, public about the fact that he fears Mark Keeler, which I find funny. But
Wait a minute. What? I fear Mark?
you said that?
You said I scare you.
You just scare me. Behind the scenes, that's why I'm kind of like back behind you by like 2-3 feet.
he's an angry little elf, isn't he?
I feel good, though, because I'm actually taller than him on this
There
camera
you
shot
go.
because he's sitting down.
Tell you what, let's go to the PFC Performance Hotline right now where Stephen Nassy is. What's the matter? Hyperco. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Hyperco Performance Hotline.
Hyperco Hotline.
So used to saying PFC. They're a longtime supporter of
Love
Speed
PFC
51.
still.
But we appreciate Hyperco coming on board for the morning Bullring. And Steven, how you doing, dude? His level is really low, Mr. Keeler. This show is going to heck in a handbasket this morning because of Mark Keeler. We're blaming
We had
on
it
Mark.
adjusted for the speakerphone.
Oh,
but
all right.
we'll try it now.
Steven, do we have you now?
Yeah, I was about to say we're having some technical difficulties here.
Yeah, tell you what, we're going to hang up. We're going to call you back old school once again. I'll call you from my phone number, and we'll bring you on the morning Bullring, and we're going to have to do it again. Maybe we'll even pass the phone back and forth between Mama and I here. But we'll call you right back, bud.
He's gone.
Good. Mark!
I've switched
You're
out
killing me, Harry.
every wire possible up here. I have switched. I even switched the little
Mark has
modulator
been
boxes.
hustling. In his defense, Mark has been hustling, and it's impressive to see
What's
him.
up, Steven?
Hey,
You got me now? Picture this. I'm in Studio 51. I literally have the phone held up. You're on speaker with everybody live on Speed 51.
all right, good deal. Yeah, the last call kept on cutting in and out. I was hoping it was going to clear up for us, but
Yeah.
it didn't work out.
10-4. It happens. We blame Mark. That's all. You know how it is. You've known Keeler for a long time since you were a little kid.
That's right. Yeah. Mark's been around for a long time.
Who knows how much longer? No.
Bob's giving everyone all the smoke today.
All right, Steven, let's cut to the chase here and talk about that big win. Are you still smiling from ear to ear?
It definitely it makes it tough when you got to wake up and go to work real early on Monday. We didn't get home till real late last night, about 10:30. So it made for a long drive home. But I'll tell you what, me and my nephew, we were real happy the whole ride home. He couldn't quit playing with all the trophies, and it was really special.
Did you let him play with the sword? That could be dangerous, dude.
Well, only with the case on it. It's got the little cover. When it's got that on, he can play with it. I told him he wasn't allowed to take that one home. I can't trust him and his brother playing with that one.
Hey, before we talk about the race, I think the bond that you have with your nephew is pretty cool. We were just seeing a picture of him and you and Victor Lane. He's holding the Gladiator Trophy. How cool is that? Because I know that's something that is very special, near and dear to your heart.
Man, I tell you, my nephew is almost, probably really is a bigger race fan than even I am these days. I mean, he is just so into NASCAR and my racing. So, when I get to pull off a win, especially with him there, because, like Mobile, he wasn't able to be there with me for that one. That kind of stunk. But with him able to be there at Bristol, and Bristol being one of his favorite tracks, just because he, watches NASCAR race there, it made it really, really special for us. And, that was one of my dad's favorite NASCAR tracks, too. So it was just special all around, not just with my nephew.
All right, we're going to pass the phone over to Mamba here because I know he's got a ton to talk to you about here in terms of the race, because I only saw the highlights on Speed 51, and all premium subscribers can get the highlights right now from speed51.com. But Mamba's got some questions for you.
What's up, Steve-O? How you doing, big dog?
What's going on, my man? How are you?
I'm good. Hey, so ever since I started following you back on Twitter, you guys seem like you picked up some speed. I think it's that follow that kind of helped you get over the hump.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think you gave me some speed there that I was lacking. I definitely appreciate it, man. That's why I like seeing your face around.
Man, that thing was on rails. Like, that car was moving. You went to the back, to the front, new track record. What are you guys doing? What do you got cooking over there? What are you guys doing over there?
We finally got to do a little bit more testing when we were at Motor Mile. Right before Motor Mile, we had Tony Uri come over helping me, so Junior. So we got things moving a little bit more in our program. Have a few more people actually willing to help us now, and that's the biggest part in late model racing is just getting the right help, and I think we're finally getting some of it.
Now, when you had to come down pit road early on in the race, you were leading the race. How'd you keep your composure? You know, knowing you had a good race car, but it's hard to get through the pack there. But you really just blazed up through there.
It's tough. It's tough, but I knew my guys were freaking out. My guys, they are some of the best, hardest working, and the passion that they have for racing, and not only just racing, it's racing with me. Them guys really care for me and believe in me. So when I had that left rear wheel come loose, I didn't almost want to say it because I knew that them guys would be so hard on themselves. And just something's happening, man. The left rears, we're having problems with them coming loose. We had the Rattler, the Derby. I don't know what's going on right now, but, we're going to figure it out. It's not from a lack of effort from my team. I'm not going to put any blame on them guys. I know that they were really hard on themselves, so I had to do the best I could do to stay positive, and that's what I did. I told them we had the best car out there. It's not that bad. We're not even halfway in the race yet. It's not over, and I kept on saying that. And I know that a couple of my guys were real hard on themselves, but we were able to pull through, and that's all that matters.
Well, buddy, BD here wants to get back to you, so there you go.
So, Stephen, I want to ask, the mindset. You talk about you trying to be calm, cool, and collected for your team, but internally, you're in the cockpit. Only you know what you were thinking at that time. Where you're like, oh, no, I don't know if I have enough time. What was the mindset for you inside your head?
Well, of course, that's probably the first thing that goes to any driver's head is, the race is over and got enough time. You got such a big track there. I knew Roderick and Wallace weren't too much slower than me. I knew I was faster, but I didn't think I was that much faster. So I knew if I could get to them, it might be trouble passing them. But thankfully, in that long run, I was just able to keep my tires cool, and I didn't fall off quite as much as them, so that saved me a lot. But of course, you guys know I have a little bit of a temper myself, but the only thing that's been holding me back is I know my guys are giving their 100% effort, and I can't blame them for trying their hardest, and mistakes happen, so I can't just, I make stupid mistakes in the car all the time. If the guys blame me for that, we would have problems a long time ago, so I learned that we're a team. Win as a team, lose as a team.
You did a hell of a job coming through the field. And what a race with you and Casey Roderick there. I know, Mamba, you were impressed with that.
Yeah, man. You and Casey have had this nice little rivalry formed up here, and we just want to know what's it like racing with such a...
No, ask him about the move. Come on, Mamba. Get to the chase.
I want to know.
Don't whippy around
Listen,
it.
all right. Bob's got me in the corner. He's got me up in the corner.
The bump and run.
I want to know about that bump and run.
I really wasn't going for it because Bristol was one of those places, and I told everybody, leading up to the race that, if you're faster than the guy in front of you, usually they either slip up and it just makes an easy hole, but you don't really want to use the bump and run at Bristol because you're going so fast, and I know what it feels like to get loose there. And somebody come in and just gave me the tap. I wouldn't be too happy about it because I just know how uneasy the cars can get and how quick you can wreck a race car there. So when Casey slipped up and I had that run coming, I knew we only had 3 laps to go. So I knew that if I let him go at that point, I might not get another shot. Man, after that long day and coming back from the back, I wasn't about to let Casey stop me from winning that race. But I also wasn't going to wreck him because I do know Casey is one of the true good racers in the sport, and I do respect him no matter what he thinks about me. So I didn't want to wreck him, but I did what I had to do, and it was smooth.
You know, we're looking at those highlights and so forth. And did you and Casey talk after the race and talk about that or anything? We saw you talk at Speed Fest, and that was a little bit different. So what did you guys say to each other after this one?
We actually didn't. I didn't see Casey after this one. The media people kind of took me away, had me go to the media center right after the race. So I was kind of tied up with a few things, for about 30 minutes after the victory lane celebration. So by the time I got over to Tech, they were already pushing Casey's car back. I think he was probably bummed out about losing at Bristol, and I wasn't going to go chase him down, but I'll definitely have words with him at the next race. The guy who really helped me, though, Stephen Wallace, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have had a wrecked race car because when he was running second behind me, he's the one that made the final call telling me that, I need to come in, I have a loose wheel, it's shaking. Because when you're in the lead like that, you don't want to give up that track position. So I was doing everything I could to stay out on that racetrack. And I told him, I said, ask Steve-O. And they did. And sure enough, he came up and told me that it was wobbling. So if it wasn't for him, I probably would have wrecked that race car and not had a shot at all.
Well, that's actually pretty cool, and we're watching some of the highlights that are on the Speed 51 Video Network. Become a premium subscriber today, and you can see all these highlights. In fact, you're moving by Stephen Wallace late in the race is what we're looking at and going on the attack to get after Casey Roderick. When you cross the line, dude, okay, what was the first thought that came to mind?
Breathe. Breathe. I wasn't breathing, man. I was tired. I had to get my tongue back in my mouth. I needed to catch my breath. I was giving it all I had for that last 25 laps. It was intense. But man, right when I got done, I had to catch my breath. That was the first thing I was thinking.
That's pretty cool. Where does this win, on the high banks of Bristol, where does it stack up, and what do you think it's going to do for you? Because I know you're a big momentum type of driver.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to definitely set the season, the pace off right for us. We're halfway through already, but the biggest races are coming up here, so that's what's really important to me, as everybody knows. So as long as we can keep that speed up, I think we're going to be A-okay. And obviously Bristol win is way up there for me. Like I said, my father's favorite NASCAR track. I've been to races there with him. Was there the weekend. Junior swept swept the weekend. So I've just, always been a fan of Bristol. So it's a special one.
And, of course, you got plenty of races coming up on your schedule. Mamba, I know you're looking forward to where we're going to see Steve Nassie next.
Yeah, Steve, where are you going to be at?
Man, I'm not 100% positive right now. We're working on our schedule. I know we had talked about doing some bigger things later on in the season, but I think we're going to go ahead and back out on the Canadian short track nationals. We wanted to do that, but it's just too long of a haul for us right now. So instead, I think we're going to do Slinger. And then I don't know what I have next, to be honest with you. I got to get in, look at the schedules, pick and choose something else.
Now, our theme today has been practice. We've been talking about practice. The dirt guys, they kind of come in, they get 3 hot laps, and then they go racing. Do you think that we need to start moving in that direction with asphalt racing, or do you think what we do for practice is good right now?
No, I definitely think that's a great direction to head into. Nobody likes to go to a racetrack and be there for a whole day practicing the day before or even 2 days before sometimes. Don't get me wrong, it is necessary. When we go to tracks that we haven't been to before, the track, the test time or practice time definitely plays in our favor. But, on a regular, series races, we need to cut down the cost, cut down the time, and practice is one of those.
practice is certainly, as Allen Iverson said, we're talking about practice. Okay, so in a way, what I like, what the dirt deal does, Stephen, is if they have a so-called practice session the night before, they make it a race. Would you like to see something to that direction in terms of having maybe just a smaller race the night before, where you can maybe make some money if you're going to do that route?
That's a tough question. I mean, obviously, the racer in me is saying, "Oh, that would be fun. That would be awesome." But I just know how those kind of deals play out, and we all want to go to the racetrack for one race, I think. And the dirt guys, they've always had that heat race deal, and all that, or like you said, the night before. I don't really think that's a good direction, but I do think the practice and stuff, just because you wreck too many race cars out there, and you want to keep a full field for the big one.
Don't go soft on me there, Nasty. Come on now. I know you're a true racer. I think it would be a cool deal. I do. I just think we have way too much practice. We're watching some of your onboard footage, actually working your way up through the field. Network, and it's pretty awesome. Cameras that you'll see on the MAV TV broadcast of Speed 51 Short Track America later on this year. So how about that? You want a TV race, a network TV race, dude?
Yeah, it wasn't boring. I didn't just lead the whole thing. I feel like if I would have stayed out front, I might have lapped most of the field as good as the car was. But having to go to the tail and come back from the tail, that's going to put a great show on, great video and everything for the fans and for TV and stuff. So it's awesome. I wouldn't have rather had it any other way.
Well, we got to create our own drama. We paid Stephen Wallace to say you had a, loose left rear wheel. No.
The struggle was real, but like I said, I wouldn't rather have it any other way.
Stephen, we appreciate you coming on the show here on the Morning Bullring presented by Hyperco, and we wish you the best of luck. You text me when you know when your next race is, and a big congratulations to you. All of us here at 51, and definitely me, big fan of yours. Love the raw motion, love who you are. Keep it up.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on the show this morning. I appreciate everything you guys do for the short track racing, and we'll talk to you again after I get the next one. Hear the next one.
Hey, I got one more question. Tom Ryan, the birthday boy. Do you want to say happy birthday to Tom Ryan?
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
He says,
like I told Steven in the media center, Steven never does anything easy. Whether he loses or wins, he always puts on a show. Good job, Steven.
That's right. So I'm going to put you on the spot here talking about schedules. By virtue of your victory here at Bristol, you become eligible for an invitation to the Speed 51 Super Select at Lucas Oil Raceway on September 7th. The winner-take-all race, a lot of money on the line for that one, Steven. Are you going to be geared up and join us there and take that invitation?
I'll be there.
Yes. Have you ever run there before?
As long as we can keep the weather away from us this time.
Yeah, I know. Wow, that would suck last year, bottom line. But at least we got most of the people before they took off. What do you think What do you think of that race and that idea and so forth? Does that fit into the old Steve and Nassie realm?
Yeah, it definitely does. That's a track I haven't been able to come to before, so it's going to be a challenge. But at the same time, putting all the money on the line, winner take all type deal, puts the pressure on, and I like pressure, so I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it draws in a bunch of good cars and is a really good race.
Would we see the old bump and run at Lucas Oil Raceway if you're coming off the final corner on the last lap and you're running in second and you're right on the leader's rear bumper?
Man, I don't even think you need to ask me that question anymore, because you guys already know what I would do. I'm going for that win of that race, whether it's Roderick, Wallace, hell, my mom in the car. It don't matter. I'm going for the win.
10-4, Stephen. Thanks again, and a big congratulations to you, buddy.
All right, Bob. Thank you, guys.
You got it. Stephen Wallace on the Hyperco hotline today.
Nasty.
So what did I say?
Wallace.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. I said Wallace. I don't know where my mind is going, honestly. I was talking about Stephen Wallace.
Green jacket, red jacket. Stephen
I
Nasty
apologize. Stephen Nasty on the Hyperco hotline here. That's why, just Wesley coming in late just
he,
threw me
he
for
like,
a loop.
yeah, he brought an Orin with him, and just, we're up in the fence.
I know. I think it's time for a break here on the Morning Bullring presented by Hyperco. We appreciate you for watching here, and Wesley Outland going to be joining us here on the set. We still got some good guests to come. We're going to be talking about the Money in the Bank at Berlin Raceway. That's going to be a big event 1 week from today. A lot of money on the line in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Plus, we're going to be talking to another winner from the Short Track U.S. Nationals at Bristol, as well as talking about the Canadian Short Track Nationals here. That's in the next half hour on the Morning Bullring, presented by Hyperco.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We will take you behind the scenes.
It's just a meathead.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, historic races, and thousands of on-demand videos. The Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the greatest video coverage.
Hey race fans, download the new speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
The ROC Modified, Saturday, June 15th at Lake Erie Speedway, driven by Pro Waste. Night at the Races, presented by Jim Moss Builders, featuring ROC Modifieds, Must-See Racing Sprints, ROC TQ Midgets, and the ROC 4-Cylinder Dash Series, plus fireworks and Twin State Auto Club Night. Lake Erie Speedway, June 15th. Don't miss this tremendous event. Visit LakeErieSpeedway.com to purchase tickets.
Welcome back to the Morning Bullring. I look to my right, and Bob, I don't see you. Where'd you go?
I'm gone. I'm out of here. But,
like-
we got Wesley. We're going to watch him have to, uncord his stuff and so forth. He's getting mad now.
It's like God's talking to me. You know what I mean? Because I can't see you, but I know you're here.
Yeah. That's the App State Cup. Still got my computer there. And, Wesley, you can take your time. Mama and I can carry the show. We've carried the show without you. So get your ear things and stuff
Today
ready.
is going to be a manic Monday.
How
I will try
It's
to.
a manic
you need it.
Monday.
I'll try to untangle these
see
things
that.
here. in a
Give me
minute.
that.
You going to be my friend?
No, I'm not going to be your friend. I'm going to be your coworker,
Oh, my.
your colleague.
It is.
Bob, I'm not going to lie to you. Bristol wore me out.
Yeah, I can tell by your voice.
I am, man. What a
out of breath.
weekend.
But your haircut looks good.
Thank you.
I haven't seen you in a few days.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
And a great time had at Bristol Motor Speedway. Mamba's trying to untangle my earpiece.
That is so nice of Mama to
It
do
is.
that for
He's
you.
my friend.
Because you got all pissy and you threw it down and, just got all cranky and stuff, getting tired of being picked on. If you're on time, you don't get picked on.
That's right.
If Matt Dillner was here right now,
Oh.
he'd be.
Oh,
after,
Spaghetti Man, as he calls me. Yeah.
after Millbridge, after the Speed 51.
But you know what, though? It wasn't fair because you went all the way through the pits at Bristol with a wireless mic. So you don't know what it's like to carry 20 feet of cord with you going around.
So do you
Hey,
know
Wesley, I've done it.
Yeah. See? Also, do you.
And you probably had your ENG hold your microphone cable, too.
Will you put
No,
those in
Steve
your
Green had me hold my own microphone. Yeah, he can get that ready right there, and we'll get that wire behind his head and so forth, and get him all set up because we're gonna have some more callers on the Hyperco hotline. Got it down pat now, Mamba.
Yes, sir.
Got it down
Hyperco.
pat.
We love you, baby.
You know what? All of a sudden, I feel so much better over here. I was losing my voice, early in the morning. Had a migraine for like the past 5 days, and it's just been killer, honestly. So starting to feel a little bit better, so that's good. I can give you guys a ration of you-know-what. So we're going to try to go to the Hyperco hotline one more time and see how, if we got things dialed away. Mark Keeler, one of the hardest working guys in the business. We give him a lot of you-know-what. But at the same time, we'll try to go to the president of operations at Bullring Raceway. Nick Rice, do you copy me, Nick?
I hear you guys. Can you hear me?
We do. We hear you. It's not perfect, but we'll get through it, hopefully. Nick, of course, the Money in the Bank race, another version of that coming up 1 week from today on June 10th at Bullring Raceway in Marne, Michigan. That's right outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan. How are things shaping up for the big Money in the Bank race?
We're looking pretty good. I mean, it's Monday, and we're typically not here on Mondays, but I'm here this morning. One for you guys, but two for just trying to get things ready because we do race that Saturday as well. So 2 races this coming weekend, including the big Money in the Bank, like you said.
That's going to be really cool. This event, Nick Meisman, everybody involved with the racetrack, it was a vision that you guys had in terms of a one-day event, and we've been talking about this. One day, practice, qualify, race, big bucks. Paint the picture for us.
Yeah, so this is my first year with the track. So the Money in the Bank, while I knew that it was an event, is my first one here really pushing it. And having a $70,000 total purse on the line is something that obviously is awesome and draws a lot of attention. You know, $20,000 to win, $700 to start, and stacked in between. But no, we're excited to get this thing rolling. Obviously, we've been challenged like everybody else with weather through the season. We've rained out 3 of our 7 events this season already. But no, we're in the office. We're ready to roll on this thing. Got a pretty good entry list. We got 24 cars pre-entered from guys from all over. You got Illinois, Oklahoma, Kansas, Georgia, West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Colorado, as well as a bunch of our locals here in Michigan, which, as you know, it's hard to beat some of our local guys here at Bullring, no matter how good you are.
Yeah, it's always hard to come in from outside and beat a local boy. Nick, talk to us about running on a Monday. I'm from Vermont, so my home track is Thunder Road, and we run Thursday nights. Running on a Monday, that's kind of a unique deal.
Yeah, having that Monday show, obviously it's always been the Monday after the Sunday race at MIS. So it's just one of them days where during the summer you don't typically get to go to the racetrack on a Monday. So people typically mark this on their calendar early and really have it planned to be here. Monday night racing, everybody's really geared up. It's the beginning of the summer, stacked the grandstands. Drivers don't typically have any place to race on a Monday, but they're coming from someplace else racing Saturday and Sunday. So you end up getting a really good field of cars as well as a packed grandstand.
Yeah, again, we're talking with Nick Rice, the man behind Bullring Raceway in Michigan. That's going to be a big, big event. Nick, I'm going to be making the trip from North Carolina up there for that event as well. I talked with R.J. Scott and Glenn Luckett at Bristol this past weekend. Just talk about the excitement of having the CRA sanction this big Monday event.
Yeah, no, that's big and something that we, continually look forward to. But like I said, having those great guys with that CRA Super Series here is awesome. But we like to really put our guys here, in Michigan, our locals up against these guys because it really ends up being a really good show. We've had a lot of guys really step up this year and are looking really good. Obviously, we've got our Brian Campbell, Johnny Van Dorns and those guys that are kind of local here to Bullring. But a lot of our guys here that are racing just here on Saturdays, Scott Thomas and his brother Tom have been really strong all year. You can never count out Dave Lake. He's had more laps around this place than anybody. But our current points leader, Nate Walton, has just been super consistent here. But Boris Yurkovic has really been on a streak here with his new Rowdy manufacturing car.
Yeah, I thought you were done. I was going to say, of course, you can see these highlights as a subscriber on the Speed 51 network, and these are some of the highlights that you're looking at from last year's race, Bob.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show last year. A pretty good show the past couple of years for the Money in the Bank, actually. So, I love Bullring because it's kind of a true racetrack in terms of it's not all about horsepower. You can't put the throttle down. It's a circular racetrack. There's no wall on the backstretch. It's really interesting. Cars can go out in the wild blue yonder. There's a little fear factor there as well. Hey, that's a good thing. It makes it exciting. And we'll also have the pay-per-view broadcast on speed51.com for the Money in the Bank. bank. Looking forward to working with everybody there. But Wesley, you're going up there for the first time. How
Yes.
excited are you to be going up to Berlin with Zach Evans?
Me and Zach have traveled on the road together. We're going to see how we can handle each other on an airplane. So, but this racetrack is really, it looks very unique, Dylan. I talked with Andrew Hain, who's the announcer of CRA, working with him at Bristol over the weekend. 7/16 of a mile. Only the front stretch has the retaining wall, so it's kind of no wall there between 1 and 2 to the back stretch. So it's going to be very unique to see what type of racing program we have.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be at Berlin last year with MDM Motorsports.
We rained out.
Yeah, we did rain out, but then
ARCA race.
I went back the second time. So I got to watch the whole race,
True.
got it in. So that was pretty cool. Now, my question, Nick, is you talk about it being right after the Michigan race. Do you expect any of our top 3 tier competitors to make their way over to Berlin Raceway?
You never know who's going to show up. Them guys' schedule varies. We don't have anybody really penciled in right now. But again, you've had Kyle Busch here for several years, even before it was the Money in the Bank. You really never know who's going to show up. It's going to be a big surprise for us as well. But we have a really strong list already with some ARCA competitors, and obviously you've got Bubba Pollard on the list. It is a really strong field.
And again, it's going to be a big event coming up here next Monday. That's right. It's this Monday. There's a race on Monday. And I got to applaud you, Mr. Rice, because, and everybody involved at Berlin Raceway, because you're thinking outside the box. And I don't know if this has been an event that's always been scheduled for Monday, but I think more promoters need to look at the concept of running midweek shows, running weekday shows instead of just being on the weekend.
Yeah, this Money in the Bank has always been a Monday show and something that's been really successful, which is, why they're doing it for the 3rd year in a row. It's something that we try to really pump and utilize here to get something different on a, weeknight, like you said, here in the Grand Rapids area.
Well, Nick, thank you so much, buddy, for joining us on the program. Again, great time having you on the Morning Bullring, and we will see you at Berlin Raceway. Bob, what you got?
Oh, nothing. I appreciate Nick for coming on the show. And, of course, the one thing that we didn't get to do this past weekend, which I know we were a little disappointed about, but we both had our respective jobs, you at Bristol and me for MAV TV over at the Clash at the Mag. We didn't get to do the fast track race at Toccoa Raceway in Georgia this past weekend, and heard it was a heck of a show. I saw the highlights on speed51.com. You can actually be watch those by becoming a premium member on Speed 51, and that was a heck of a show. Carson Ferguson taking the victory.
Yeah, I did my follow-up. And again, of course, the new kid Carson Ferguson winning the finale of the Triple Crown at Friendship, and then he turns around and he goes to Toccoa Raceway, held off Matt Long and all the other great contingents that were coming after him. And again, when you win, Mamba, you want to continue to stay on that winnings train, and he's got 2 in a row now.
I mean, he's Fergie time Jr., right? I mean,
he is. He's the cousin of Chris Ferguson. I mean, definitely. So and he's truly a talent. I think we'll see some big things out of Carson.
Where are we going next with the Fast Track Series? Putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, put me on the spot. Father's Day weekend, actually. It's going to be on June the 15th, Saturday, June the 15th. It is one of the biggest Ultimate Super Late Model Series paying events, single-day show. $20,000 to win for the USA 100. Ernie Shelton's put on that event for, I think, 39 years. That'll be going on, and the Fast Track Racing Series will run for $3,000 to win in that event as well.
That's going to be a lot of fun up at Virginia Motor Speedway. Of course, we're all gearing up to the Fast Track World Championship mid-September. $50,000 on the line to the winner of that Pro Late Model feature. Wesley, it's your time. Okay, we've given you the punishment. You've been late this morning. You slept in. You don't even have your coffee or anything this morning. But
I like how everybody else has what I have.
Yeah, well, you're a trendsetter. That's all we have to say.
Yes,
trendsetter.
Wesley Outland, the trendsetter.
I haven't lost my voice.
Neither is mine.
But my voice is just very, very scratchy, froggy this morning.
I had a cold last weekend, and it kind of just carried over, and then I've been carrying a migraine for the last 5 days to 7 days, and that's been a heck of a awful feeling. But just because the presence of you and Mamba, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. So we're going to go to break here on the Morning Bullring. When we return, Mamba and Wesley take over the Morning Bullring presented by Hyperco. Thanks so much for presenting today's show.
West, man.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We will take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, historic races, and thousands of on-demand videos. The Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the greatest video coverage.
Hey race fans, download the new speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
The ROC Modified, Saturday, June 15th at Lake Erie Speedway, driven by Pro Waste. Night at the Races, presented by Jim Moss Builders, featuring ROC Modified, must-see racing sprints, ROC TQ midgets, and the ROC 4-cylinder dash series, plus fireworks and Twin State Auto Club night. Lake Erie Speedway, June 15th. Don't miss this tremendous event. Visit LakeErieSpeedway.com to purchase tickets.
Welcome back to the morning Bullring. I was saying I thought I hit the right button. That's
Third-
not my fault this time.
Third time's a charm.
No, he had
That's
the button
right.
right.
I had the button right. I had it right. I really
It's
did.
been a rough morning, Wesley, hasn't it?
17 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. Just tried to breeze through it. Dylan Smith alongside, and we're getting ready to go to the Hyperco Performance Line, and we're getting ready to go to the next caller here in a few moments. But first, it is time to check out the world of racing news throughout the weekend, and joining us is Cody. Cody Geyer, good morning to you, buddy. What's going on in the world of racing news from this weekend?
Might help the mic's on, but
That's what happened to me, except it wasn't on my end.
But a little bit of abbreviated news. U.S. Short Track Nationals at Bristol. Stephen Assey, Mike Skinner, Chuck Barnes Jr., Tom Gosser picking up wins. Then in Fast Track at Toccoa, you saw that in Speed 51 Network. Carson Ferguson picked up his second career win, second in a row. And then Arca, Ty Majeski, second straight win at Pocono, passing Riley Herbst late. And then NASCAR K&N Pro Series East, Chase Cabry picked up his first career win. That's getting there.
Bob's over here yelling him from the outside.
Oh, wow.
NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, Doug Coby picking up his third win this year at Seekonk. And then Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Mike Marlar picked up the win at the Clash at the Mag. Then Brandon Overton, Brandon Shepard, one of the Shepards. Brandon Shepard picked up World of Outlaw late model wins at Cochrane and Lancaster.
Langster.
Not the first time I got it wrong this morning.
Lancaster, South Carolina.
Technically, you got it right, but the way, where we're at.
Well, there was a track up in New York called Lancaster. There still is, yes. It was a speedway and a drag strip. But they call it down here Lancaster. I had to find that out personally myself also.
Yeah, they told me that this morning.
I said, Lancaster, South Carolina, how you doing?
You should have been here this morning. We already went over this.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Then Alan Kress won the Northwest Super Late Model Series race at South Sound Speedway in a close finish. And then World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, first ever Music City Outlaw Nationals at Fairground Speedway, Nashville. Shane Stewart picked up the big win.
That was cool. That was a
Jimmy
cool race.
Smith, you're lying. He says he saw Wesley Outland at Waffle House at 3 a.m. this morning. No, you did not.
It wasn't Waffle House?
I was asleep. I was out.
Man, that race at Nashville Fairgrounds, that dirt race.
Props to Claire and Tony
cool,
Formosa, man. I've seen
That was
pictures. I have seen highlights. That place was packed.
And to finish up the news,
Happy birthday, Tom!
Thank you, Wesley. Cody, rookie mistake. By the way, you can see all the highlights onboard cameras, recaps from Bristol Motor Speedway this weekend, the U.S. or the Short Track U.S. Nationals, and not to mention some music videos from our boy Robbie Johnson.
Yeah, Robbie did a great job. The man from Mississippi coming in for the last couple of weeks. Big kudos to him. Hey, Cody, I got one more thing to add to the news. Cue up our news music again. Who were the 4 winners? Who were the 4 winners from Bristol this
That's
weekend?
what he started the news out with. Did you
I just want to see if he remembers.
He said it at the
He
beginning.
just did that whole thing with no
He probably
notes.
had to look at a cheat sheet.
I
I know in my
I'll
heart.
tell you what. Why don't we talk to one of them then?
Yeah,
right now.
I think we're talking to Tom Gosser.
We are. We're going to go to the Hyperco Performance line, and joining us on the line is the driver of the Zero Outlaw entry, picking up his first ever Spartan Trophy and the sword at the last Great Coliseum, holding off all the likes of the Vors Compact Touring Series. And of course, it is Tom Gosser. Tom, good morning. Welcome to the Bullring, my friend.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Fantastic, Tom. Tom, when I met you, we were out in the parking lot. They were about to kick you out. They were shutting the lights down, and you were looking for something. What were you looking for out there?
We just really didn't like how the car was Friday in practice. So we were just trying to find something to make it a little bit better for Saturday.
Well, you obviously found that. You know, you took your time getting up through the front. You took the lead and never looked back. I mean, congratulations on that win. How's that feel, winning at the last Great Coliseum?
Well, it's a place you just don't ever expect to be at the level of racing we're at, you know, so you can't thank like Steve and Dan and the guys at Bristol for, you know, giving us the opportunity to go down there and get to do that.
Again, joining us is Tom Gosser, big winner for the Compacts, 83 cars, the 6-wide salute, racing at Bristol amongst, the legacy of the NASCAR stars and so much more. Being a little compact car running around that Bullring, how excited was that?
Oh, it's real exciting. It's definitely one of the coolest tracks, and it's somewhere everybody wants to race at.
Tom, we got a picture of your car right now. Where did you find a Camaro nose like that to put on
a Honda?
On a Honda hatchback.
It's actually just a late model nose, and we just cut it down to fit, and then we kind of just made fenders and made it look the best that we could.
Hey, Tom, I got a question for you. It's Bob Dillner. You know, you won at Bristol. That's pretty darn cool. You got the sword. Where you got it right now?
Oh, it's in my bedroom right now.
In your bedroom. That's an interesting place for it.
The sword.
Okay, is it like on the nightstand, or paint the picture for us, buddy?
Yeah, right now it's just laying on top of my dresser. My mom, actually, we had 5 people in my truck, so I really didn't have room to bring the stand and the gladiator trophy, but I took the sword.
That's right, baby. Take the
I can make
gladiator
room
sword.
for that.
That's pretty awesome. Hey, you won this event, and it's going to be featured on Speed 51 Short Track America on MAV TV. You're going to be on network television, dude, winning a race. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, being on TV is great, you know.
Well, it's got to be more than just 3 words here. I know you're on the first-time caller here, but what's this experience been like for you in terms of winning this event in the last 24 to 48 hours?
Oh, it's definitely the biggest race I've ever won, and the amount of people that have, congratulated me on Facebook and stuff like that's been unbelievable.
Man, Tom, it was just great meeting you and your family. You and your brother won 2 in points. So, even if you can't finish off the championship, you can always kind of hang this over his head and say, man, I beat you at Bristol.
Yeah, I mean, the points are hard to win. You got to be there all year. Like I said, we got second and third in the points last year, and we've been after them for a couple of years. But it was more of a goal to try to win that sword down there this year than it was the points for me.
Well, Tom, buddy, we're going to let you go. Congratulations on your big, big win at Bristol Motor Speedway, something nobody will ever be able to take away from you. And it's going to be, of course, later on in the year on the MAV TV Motorsports Network and Short Track America.
Yep, thanks, guys.
I'll tell you what, the Vors Compact Touring Series, pretty impressive. And you know what was impressive, honestly? Seeing the 6-wide salute that you see right here. If you are a premium member, you can see this in terms of the highlights for the Vors Compact Touring Series on speed51.com.
Hey, Bobby, you know how I do PA announcing? I'm like, for Fast Track and Ultimate, I say, 4-wide. I had to hold it together. Mark was looking to be like, don't do it. Don't do it.
So what'd you do?
I just said, here they come, Bristol, 6
don't
wide.
Let Mark just rein you in.
He's an angry elf.
Get up moment.
Well, not get up, but give us your best 6 wide here.
Here they come, ladies and gentlemen, down the front straightaway here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the Short Track U.S. Nationals 6-1!
Yo, you guys can't see it, but this man's face went from white to red like Rudolph's nose.
Honestly, that's the second time that he's gone from white to red today.
No, it's like the third or fourth time, actually. It's got last week, making fun of the hair. I look good, though. I got my hair cut.
You're looking sporty.
I did.
Chicks are going to dig it, that's for sure.
I already had chicks hitting on me. It's all good.
I tell you what, another event that I'm looking forward to is the Canadian Short Track Nationals up at Jukasa Speedway. I always say the name of it wrong.
Formerly Cayuga.
Cayuga County Speedway,
right.
Absolutely. And what Alex Nagy and that staff has done up there, pretty impressive indeed. So it's, a lot of money on the line.
Yes.
People are putting in, their dibs in terms of going to that event. I know Brandon wants to go. Mark wants to go. Mark's got to get a passport. Anybody else have a passport here? Do you have a passport, Wesley?
I know I don't.
No, neither do I.
I ain't had a
Do you,
passport
Mamba?
in a couple of years.
but I'm trying to be in that event. So
yeah.
Oh, so
Okay.
that's one of the races you were telling me about on our drive, scaring me through the mountains to Bristol on Thursday.
Did you go 421?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh man, I got my FRS, so that thing is kind of built for it. And he made the mistake of telling me that he doesn't like to drive anything but the interstate. That was a mistake on your part. I don't know what you were thinking. Riding shotgun with me.
That did it for Wesley and the rides with Dylan right there, because he's like, yeah, okay, well, I'll show you, fella.
Bob, you know the switchbacks. So
Yes.
like every left-hander, I guess, because you drive on the right-hand side of the road. I was turning late. And right on the outside, we were kicking up dirt out there.
Let me tell y'all something. You will literally find Watkins Glen and Sonoma in the North Carolina mountains.
That would be a wicked cup race.
I am serious.
They should climb that mountain.
What do y'all call that? The snake? Is that what it's called? The snake?
Yeah, we call it the snake.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
And then
I guess
Cody's
there's a
riding-
sign. That's right. There is a sign for it as well.
Which I actually enjoyed riding with Cody yesterday coming back. He was nice and comfortable. He wasn't driving it like 50, 60 miles an hour, turning the curve, hitting the brake like you were. Oh, my goodness. We're going to go back to the Hyperco Performance line. And joining us
Alex Nagy.
is going to be Alex Nagy of Jukasa. Jukasa, formerly known as Cougar International. We got a big race coming up here in a few weeks. Welcome to the program, sir. It's the Bullring.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. Thanks for coming on. Hey, Alex, I got a bone to pick with you before we get started, man. This is Dylan Smith here with you, and we were supposed to have a conversation about a little Movember and Jukasa get together.
Yeah, Mamba, I owe you a phone call, buddy, but been crazy like every other short track on the East Coast trying to battle the weather and get open and ready, but I owe you a call. And then when Bob told me he was going to have me on the show, I thought, shoot, maybe I can do two things at once.
There you go, man.
There you go. Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really want to come up and run that event, so we're trying to put that all together. So talk to us about it. It's growing really fast. That racetrack is beautiful you guys got up there.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's only our second year, and I know the purse is strong, and that has a lot to do with it, but everybody that's visited us and raced with us so far has really spread a positive word about our facility and our staff, which is ultimately the most important, and how great our fans are. And, we're fortunate to have attracted people from all over North America last year, and this year is going to be no different, except on a bigger scale for our second annual.
$75,000 to win. 75,000 reasons why you need to be at Jukasa Motor Speedway in Canada on Labor Day weekend. So just there's a joke behind that. But to our friends of the North, I had a couple of sim racing buddies that used to run sim races, and I announced some sim races, and we played with them using that. But real quickly, though, talk about just the idea of having a race of that magnitude, $75,000 to win this year, Labor Day weekend. And, of course, you're also looking at highlights of last year's race on the Speed 51 network. As a subscriber, you can see archives from last year as well.
Yeah, when we reopened the facility, as Cayuga Speedway, this property has had a ton of history. We've had, the best of the best come through here, from Earnhardt, Mike Eddy, all the ASA guys, Mark Martin, Alan Kowicki, Don Biederman, Junior Hanley, all the Canadian stars. So this has always been a place in Canada where everybody from North America came to major events. So, we really appreciate our history, and we want to continue to remember that. But it's important, it's the biggest asphalt oval track operating in Canada, and we feel it's the best. We feel that we're second to none in North America. Everybody has improvements you want to do, and we'll continue to do that. But we just felt it was important to rekindle that Canada-U.S. kind of competition, and ultimately you just want to have the best drivers available to come to any of our events that we have, wherever they're from. And we're starting to be able to accomplish that. And, this year so far, like you'd said, it's grown. We've got 30-something entries already for a September 1st race. And from all over Canada, from Saskatoon, Alberta, Nova Scotia, Ontario, of course, Quebec, and then Oklahoma with Donnie Wilson, and all the Michigan guys like Hocevar and Campbell, and guys who we got from Florida. We got Texas. So, we're attracting a lot of attention, and our hope is that we have too many cars that we can't park them, and we'll make the best of it. And we want everybody to have a good time. The racing's incredible. The track is awesome, and it's two wide racing all the time, as anybody that was here last year knows. So, there's a lot of historical events, and we're trying to create one here.
Yeah, we're looking at some of those highlights on Speed 51 from last year. If you're a premium subscriber, you can see those highlights. You talked about more than 30 entries already. We're watching the video right now. Brandon Watson and Patrick LaPearl go at it. Who are some of the top Canadian names that have already filed entries? Is LaPearl coming back?
Yeah, LaPearl's entered already. So has Brandon, J.R. Fitzpatrick. Who else we got? DJ Kennington from the NASCAR Pinty Series, of course, Race Cup, been at the Indy 500 or the Daytona 500 the last 3 years, I believe it was. Cassius Clark from Nova Scotia. So, there's a Derek Lynch. There's Dwayne Baker from near Brandon Watson's area. He's a star. Gord Shepard, Jake Sheridan, a young kid from London, Ontario that is a real up and comer. So, yeah, they just keep pouring in, and there's no shortage of talent, that's for sure, and that's what makes it so exciting.
Got a couple more questions with, of course, Mr. Brian Nagy, the man behind or Alex Nagy, behind Jacusa, getting ready for this big event. The idea of having this race of this magnitude up in Canada, where did it come from, Alex?
So our management group, our owners, when we started to rebuild the racetrack, working through the project. Ultimately, we wanted to have, we have special events. We don't race weekly. All our shows are big. We just had our opener this past weekend with the NASCAR Pinty Series and the Oscar Modifieds and Hot Rods. Andrew Ranger from Quebec won that event. We had a rain delay Saturday, which is unfortunate. Our fans stuck with us, and it was a wet affair, but yesterday was beautiful, and we got Modifieds and the NASCAR Pinty Series race in, and the races were great. And so, we're just trying to create traditional or annual events that people, I heard you talking about the Berlin show, and like you said, everybody knows Monday after Michigan, you're going to Berlin. We want everybody to know the Canadian Short Track Nationals so far has been a Labor Day weekend, and you mark your calendar. So we're just trying to create those big events. And as far as the Canadian Short Track Nationals, one of our goals was to have, our premium event. I mean, they're all premium, but one's your diamond event, and that's what we're creating with that one. And we want it to be the richest short track race in North America, and I feel we've accomplished that now. And it's just important. We want, whether it's Canada or U.S., really doesn't matter to us. I know there's a border, but we're all the same. All the cars are the same. The drivers are all talented, and this event just happens to be in Canada. But we want to be we want to be up there with the likes of the Derby and all the great traditional events across Canada and the U.S. We want to have one of those, and we feel we're starting to create that.
Well, Alex, we appreciate you being on the show. Jacasa on August 31st and September 1st, the Canadian Short Track Nationals. We'll be talking to you more here on the show and also bringing in some of the drivers that are going to be competing there because this is one of the biggest events of the season for Speed 51 as well. We are proud to be a partner with you, and we look forward to the event.
Yes, we're excited about working with you again, and can't wait for that weekend for sure. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Alex, on from Jacasa Motor Speedway. That's
Alex
a great
Mackey.
place. Absolutely. And, guys, we are looking forward to it. I know a lot of people trying to get their passports and stuff. Mark Killer's got to go get his passport. We need him up there.
I know where I'll be Labor Day weekend.
Where will you be Labor Day
That's
weekend?
that's the Pro Late Model Nationals.
At where?
For Tyler County.
Tyler
and
County, that's
I-77
right.
for Fast
That's
Track.
right. Oh,
So,
yeah, doubleheader that weekend. That's
like
right.
a 3 or 4 day show.
Yeah, that's going to be a cool deal for sure for Fast Track
But I've
National
been there
Touring
before.
Series.
I've been there before when it was Cayuga with the Ismo Super Modifieds. Beautiful facility, great track, and seeing some of the highlights of the video, they've updated the facility.
Oh, big
too.
time.
Dude, it
Looks really different.
It's incredible. They have done such a good job, and like I said earlier, I really want to get up there and bang doors with them boys. So we'll see if we can get the Movember.
You want to
Foundation.
race, but did you like being a pit reporter at
Yeah.
Bristol?
Yeah, it's fun, man. I enjoy being.
Except for when he gets text from Bob.
No, that's the best part because that's how I know how to get. That's how I can get better.
That's like me, you know.
Like Bob's over here. He's watching, and he's like I said, he's like God. He's watching,
Even though
but
he's
he
all
can't
the way
see
in
him.
Mississippi and the land of Dixie.
He just reaches out and kind of tugs on you, and you're like,
And
there
by
he
the way,
is.
props to my buddy, the Winfield Warrior, Mike Marlar.
Mike
I texted him
Marlar.
yesterday, man. I was like, congrats. And I wasn't able to see the big show on Saturday that you were calling.
You were a little
for-
busy.
for them. But I did see the first two nights. And Josh Richards, of course, winning the night before. And then Jonathan Davenport winning on Friday night. And then to see Mike Marlar, man, I mean, I'm happy to see the 157 do well.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
pretty cool. Nice to see Carson Ferguson win the fast track race at Toccoa down in Georgia this past weekend. There was a lot of good racing coming up this weekend. Of course, you have the Pro Late models at Five Flags Speedway. We'll be headed down there with that. That will be a live broadcast on speed51.com. A lot of other racing going on. Montgomery Motor Speedway, that's right. It's a Pro Late Model double dip.
That's right.
For the Alan Turner Pro Late Models on Friday, and then the Show Me the Money series on Saturday. Thanks for reminding me. But I do want to say one thing, before we go, and we're all about short track racing. And I just want to say that, watching from Mississippi, when I did get a chance to, because of course, when I was ready for work,
You got to work.
I wasn't watching you guys,
Yeah.
okay? And I was doing my job and my passion and with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. But watching you guys and so forth, and yes, you did get some text from me at times. Everybody did, honestly. But at the same time, man, it was awesome to watch. You guys did a fantastic job, multi-camera broadcast. Very proud of the camera work, very proud of the directing and all the engineering that went into that. You guys all did a great job on the mic. It was a long
Yes, it was.
long day. You're not used to that because you're mostly on the dirt side these days. Those pavement days are brutal.
Yes.
And I wish it could be different. But man, we hope that everybody that was watching at home enjoyed the craftsmanship, the work that you guys did, because you guys were simply badass on Speed 51 on Saturday.
Well, I appreciate that, and it was truly a privilege and a pleasure, and something I'll always remember in my bucket list of doing, because I've been to Bristol before for things with NASCAR before in the past, but never got the chance to go into the press box or be able to be into race control. Normally, when I got there, I just had to stay down in the pits and do what I needed to do. Go to the production truck, put the headsets on. You know the deal, Bob. You never go upstairs, but to be able to see the things that we did was cool. And two things I'll take away from this. First off, never count out Mike Skinner. What Mike Skinner did, he came down pit road with the brake cylinder issues breaking on the car, and he point blank said, "We don't." His son's telling him, this is broken, that's broken. You were down there, and he says, "Hey, look." We don't need brakes. We're going to go out there. We're going to give it all we got. He went, Bob, shotgun on the field. Yes, he had a couple of cautions to halt things and bring him back up there. But on that last caution, if you watch this, be a subscriber, watch the highlights. He went from like 14th or 15th, from lap 11 to 42 to take the lead.
Yeah. And it was impressive. And we only got a couple minutes left on this show, and there's a reason for that. So we want to make sure we get to that. But Wesley and Mamba, there are so many videos on the Speed 51 network right now for
Yes.
premium subscribers that Robbie and Tom and Patrick Hahey and everybody have worked really hard on, so you can relive all that action. Mike Skinner coming from the rear, Stephen Nasse coming from the rear, the Vorst Compact Series, the Street Stocks, the battle with, the Barnes family. Just a lot of great stuff
And
there.
Hudson.
Yep, absolutely. Brett Hudson. So a lot of cool stuff there. Become a subscriber today. And Wesley, as we wrap up the show, we're just glad you made it, brother.
Thank you.
You see his face? I'm just happy. No, everyone listening, I'm new to this, and it's awesome.
Hey, before we go, our thoughts and prayers are with the driver of Daryl Minders. And we had one driver up at South Boston. That young lady, she had a fiery crash, but she was able to get out of her car okay.
Jessica Dana.
Yeah, Jessica Dana. Thank goodness she was okay. But a good friend of mine, somebody that races street stocks, Daryl Minders, was in a horrific fiery crash. He's got third-degree burns. He's in the hospital in Augusta in critical condition, so keep him in your thoughts and prayers. We love this sport, Bob Dillner, but it can be a dangerous sport, and things can go wrong, but hopefully the good Lord will be looking after him and the family.
Absolutely, indeed. We have a lot of faith here at Speed 51, and we will be praying for those drivers for sure. Good to see that Jessica was okay. That wraps up the Morning Bullring presented by Hyperco. We thank them. We thank Wesley Outland. Mamba in the house. Listen, Wesley's at Berlin, Michigan. I'm at the beach next weekend. We got to find a co-host for you because you are the man next week.
It's the Black Mamba takeover next week. It's my birthday. I'm going to come in here with champagne. It's going to be a good time. I got Keeler in here. It'll be great.
They put a spelling on your shirt because they forgot how to spell paradise. That's not how you need an S.
But you knew what it said, though.
Hey, and a happy birthday to Tom Ryan as we
Love
go.
you.
Peace
My
out
favorite
here
EMG.
on the Morning Bullring presented by Hyperco.
Bye, guys.
Great day to be alive, baby. Great
Have a
day.
good one.